hit air. Michael Eady, 980 Group. Thanks, Michael. Always good to see you, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep. No more quad boxes. You guys are joking in the chat room. No quad boxes. All right. Thank you, guys. We're back with you tomorrow. Don't forget Bama and Bourbon coming up here momentarily on the platform. There's new stuff over at covercrimson.com. Mick has a new video out with Mike Johnson. You can go check that out, the former Alabama offensive lineman. And, of course, all the new stuff from including the Top Button podcast with Kyle Rush over at thebarnauburn.com. Thanks for being with us. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
You can't wait for college football talk every Monday, so we don't make you wait. Ryan Brown here for the next round. You can catch ESPN's Tom Luganbill with Jim Dunaway on Monday Morning Live at 7 a.m. I'm with Brandon Marcello on the middle 8 at 8 after the next round. Hear from Alabama coach Kalen DeBoer and Auburn coach Hugh Freeze. After the coaches talk, Fox Sports analyst Brock Hewer joins Lance Taylor for Unlocked at 1 o'clock. All college football, all day Monday, anywhere you get the next round. From the creators of The Next Round comes two new sites, covercrimson.com and thebarnauburn.com. Two team sites with the same excitement and information-driven content that you get every day on The Next Round. Live daily shows, recorded shows, free of charge, plus premium content with insider information starting at just $1. And it's the perfect gift for the Alabama or Auburn fan in your family. Covercrimson.com or thebarnauburn.com. Sign up today.
Hang out with The Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out The Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
By now, you guys know how I feel about my fashion. However, did you know that I care about your fashion choices? Cargo shorts are out, flip-flops are only appropriate on the boat, and please throw away that stained t-shirt from college. You may be thinking, EG, that's all I own. What do I do? Here's what you do. Go to nextround.store and fill your cart with a wardrobe that is approved by me. Stock up on logo t-shirts, hoodies for football season, and hats for every day of the week. Trust me on this one and head over to nextround.store to get stocked up for this season.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
From the creators of The Next Round comes two new sites, covercrimson.com and thebarnauburn.com. Two team sites with the same excitement and information-driven content that you get every day on The Next Round. Live daily shows, recorded shows, free of charge, plus premium content with insider information starting at just $1. And it's the perfect gift for the Alabama or Auburn fan in your family. Covercrimson.com or thebarnauburn.com. Sign up today.
Here at The Next Round, we love our guests, especially our 2024 football regulars. Auburn and Alabama fans, we've got your guys. On Mondays at 9:25, we'll be joined by Alabama offensive lineman Tyler Booker, and Tuesdays at 9:25, we chat with Auburn quarterback Peyton Thorne. Join us and rep your team.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios. The Next Round presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Live show now on a Wednesday. A lot of college football to get to, including a really good game last night that I knew I was on the wrong side of at mybookie.ag when I said my play on the air, and Lance gave me that usual Charlie Brown-like grin. And then all of a sudden I was that other girl on Charlie Brown that was going, wah, 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 wah. A loser for me last night. We'll get to that. Actually, that was the teacher, right? Talking to Peppermint Patty.
That was the teacher. Yeah, Peppermint Patty didn't sound like that.
Yeah. It's wah, 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 wah.
Peppermint Patty sounded, she kind of had a raspy voice, didn't she? Chuck?
Yeah. Peppermint Patty liked the heaters. She liked playing third base for a softball team.
That's right. She was in the co-ed league.
She was really, really cool. Liked her.
She'd get handsy at a Horde festival.
We will get to college football coming up in just a second. We'll start with baseball, though, because we've got a quad box baseball opportunity today. Forster loves it when we go quad box conversation. But we got 4 games today. They'll overlap throughout the day. We'll never have 4 going on at once unless we get major extra innings. But last night, Padres beat the Dodgers 6-5 in a juiced-up San Diego Petco Field. 11 runs in the first 3 innings. And then the pitching staffs took over. 6-5, Padres lead the series 2-1 now. Elimination day for the Dodgers if they can't win.
Yeah, and Fernando Tatis has been unbelievable. 10 of 18, 4 home runs, 0 Ks through 5 playoff games. And a lot of fireworks early, as you mentioned. Once we got to the top of the third, we didn't have another run scored in that game.
I can't believe that. I mean, that ball was flying out of that. It was like wind blowing out at Wrigley. I mean,
the game was over at 6-1, and then Teoscar hits the grand slam off of King and, cuts it to 6-5, and then there was no movement after that. It was really weird.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that game ended 6-5.
But Teoscar was up later in a big opportunity.
Oh, they had opportunities late.
And a couple, both sides did, and there were some big whacks with big people at the plate, and just the pitchers became too strong. There's a star in this series right now. The pitchers are doing their part, the bullpens, but Fernando Tatis is on fire right now. 6 of 12 in the series against Dodger pitchers.
Yeah, I brought up the fact that he's 10 of 18 in the postseason, 4 home runs, no Ks. He has been fantastic, and they said, hey, man, we're playing off the adrenaline of this crowd, and we talked about it yesterday, the 47,000. I mean, this has become a really good home field advantage, in the Padres on the brink of knocking the Dodgers off 2 of the last 3 postseasons. And if the Dodgers do lose one of these next 2, I've never been a big Dave Roberts guy. I know he won a championship in 2020, but this will be the 3rd consecutive year, this massive payroll with some of the best players in all of baseball. And look, and I know pitching has been in shambles with injuries, but this will be 3 consecutive years of not even getting to the NLCS.
That's what Brandon says in the mybookie.ag chat room. Tell me, LT, that this isn't another Dodgers choke with this dream roster. It was a roster we talked about before the season started, as they made every free agent move, including Ohtani, that it almost seemed like it was a given that the Dodgers would at least be in the World Series.
Well, you would think. On the other side, your 2 favorites the majority of the year, the Phillies, now they're on the brink of elimination. So once you get to postseason baseball, I mean, you can't figure it out.
You really can't. Do you feel good about running Walker Buehler out there in this series if you have to?
No, I don't.
What about if you make that LCS? He's
how old is he now? 41?
No, Bueller's not old at all.
He's pitching like he is.
I'm kidding. It was a joke on his performance.
Yeah, he literally just turned 30. It's just his arm's like 50.
Yeah, that's even older than I thought. I thought he was still in his 20s, but he burned quick. He burned quickly, and pitchers do that now.
Well, Tommy John. this guy's just been in and out, in and off the DL. He can't stay healthy.
Yeah. You mentioned Mets crushing the Phillies 7-2. So the Mets, who I think are playing the role of the Braves, this is where the Braves should be, up 2-1 against the Phillies now, because the Mets got that big win in Atlanta on that extra day of baseball, game 161, and then went on and took that seed out and went up there and played the Phillies and won their first series. Now they're playing the Phillies, and they're playing good baseball. And Pete Alonso's hit his 3rd home run in the last 4 games. So both of those are elimination games today.
And that's a really good fan base too. The Mets, I don't know about you guys, I just remember the 86 Mets, winning that championship, and it seemed like with that roster they should have had more than one championship. But hard to believe the Mets have never had a postseason clinching win in Citi Field. Now, it's only been open since 2009.
Okay.
But the Mets have had some good teams, so they are going to try to accomplish that for the first time ever.
In the newer stadium, not at Shea Stadium. So here's your lineup today, and then Lance will tell us about lanceslock.com with our friends at Hemphill. Brownie will back it up with some betting odds with our friends at MyBookie, and we've got football tonight as well. But it's Guardians and Tigers, 2 o'clock on TBS. Last home playoff game for the Tigers, 2014. Also in the American League, Yankees-Royals, 6 o'clock on TBS. Last home Royals playoff game, 2015. So those are 2 and 6 on TBS. At 4 and 8 on FS1, you have the elimination possibilities of Phillies, Mets, and Dodgers, Padres, with the home teams trying to send the favorites packing. You can get plays at lanceslock.com.
Yeah, jump on board with us. Not a good night last night, just completely transparency. Dunaway, we were on your side with Liberty.
Oh, I thought you were on FIU.
I liked Liberty. I just thought it was, one of these standalone games, not that anybody was watching, but if people are just college football fans, you get a standalone on a Tuesday. Liberty has that schedule where they can go undefeated. They're going to need a lot of help because there's nobody on that schedule. I thought they would come out on this one-off and just try to pound and try to absolutely destroy Florida International. And, that looked like, much like Vanderbilt, Alabama, looked like equal teams.
Yeah, we'll get into that game and what's happening tonight in a little bit. Baseball plays and maybe a play on New Mexico State, Jack State tonight as well.
Yeah, go Gamecocks.
Always brought to you by our friends at Hemphill Services, 205-229-2090. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Hard to stop a train. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. If you have any plumbing, heating, or cooling needs in your home or business, these guys are ready to serve you. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
And our friends at MyBookie.
That's where you can find all those point spreads right there at mybookie.ag. Right now, Oregon and Ohio State has shrunk just a little bit. I think it opened at 4. Ohio State's a 3-point favorite now. So that number
just
creeping
down a little
down.
bit, yeah.
Creeping down. Ole Miss, a 3.5-point favorite at LSU. Boy, how many times do you think you've been able to get Ole Miss favored in Tiger Stadium?
Not a lot.
I can't remember one.
It does not happen very often.
Well, do you feel good about either one of those teams?
No, Lance, I do not. I think I'd stay right away from that game. Jacksonville State, Jim mentioned them, a 20.5-point favorite tonight. You can play all those games at mybookie.ag. Code next round when you sign on at mybookie.ag. When you use code next round, here's what happens. You're going to make your initial deposit, right, to get started. You're going to put code next round in, and they are going to double that deposit. That is free money. They're giving you to play right away at mybookie.ag. A lot of those places will give you a bonus. You got to, play it 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times or win, to get your money. You win one time, it's yours right there at mybookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. mybookie.ag, code next round. mybookie.ag, code next round.
6:30 ESPN2 for that New Mexico State 1-4, 2-3 Jacksonville State. Expect a big game from Tyler Huff the Magic Gamecock tonight at quarterback. He's a great thrower. He's a good runner.
Well, he's a better runner, and I think that's the thing you look at with New Mexico State. New Mexico State coming off a game against New Mexico where it was a track meet 50-40. They lose that game, but New Mexico State gives up over 300 on the ground to the Lobos, and now you look at what Huff brings, that dynamic. Hasn't been really dissecting him with the arm, but boy, man, I think Rich Rod has got in a running quarterback that he really can count on now after losing 3 consecutive games. They have won 2 games going away, so Jacksonville State, I guess there's a reason they're a 20.5-point favorite tonight.
If Jack State was having the season that they were expected to have, if they were in this game 5-0 right now, maybe we could have T-shirts made, Huff, Pass, for the Gamecock offense. We Huff Pass. That'd be a good T-shirt. I like that one there. Your team, I love your sweatshirt. You have rocking tonight, Jacksonville State for the Gamecocks rolling on. Is that your graduation year, 1883? No, not the case.
Now, would you be going if you weren't doing trivia tonight?
I might. I'm going. I do need to get out of one trivia because I'd already planned on going in a couple of weeks when they play Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
Wednesday nights.
Wednesday night is Jack State football night, baby. So I will be going in a couple of weeks. I am not going this. I would not go this Wednesday.
We'll get to Alabama football in just a second, but to last night's game, FIU and Liberty. To your point, LT, they have now 17. Liberty does 17 straight regular season wins. And they just get no buzz because of their schedule. Here they are on national TV. They'll get a couple of these opportunities midweek where the only way they're going to sway the football playoff committee was to go out and beat the eyes out of teams, and that didn't happen last night. They win in overtime.
Yeah, and you've got a quarterback in Caden Salter who is one of the more dynamic quarterbacks in all of college football, and I don't know. I mean, Liberty to me, I mean, it's great they're 5-0, but with their resources and everything, a team like Florida International, coming into Lynchburg, that's a team you ought to run off the field. And, the problem is teams like Appalachian State, who were supposed to be better, they're not really good this year, although that game got canceled. I mean, there is just nothing coming up that they can impress with. They could literally beat the remainder of their teams by 50+, and I don't think they get into a college football playoff.
I mean, I think in a lot of ways, Army and Navy have a better shot.
Oh, yeah, I would agree. I mean, with one loss.
Yeah, I mean, maybe even a one-loss Army or Navy.
Yeah. Well, they're in the American first.
That's right. Yep. I mean, it's a better conference.
The schedule's going to end up being a lot tougher.
Yep.
Even with all the attrition that we're seeing and, teams in all the power conferences losing 2, 3, 4 games, I don't see a scenario where Liberty undefeated is ever ranked. Do you guys?
I do not.
I do not. And that's what we talked about in the offseason is a lot of people talk about their ability to go undefeated. They're going to go undefeated. And not only are they not going to play a ranked team, they're not going to play anybody close to being ranked.
That's right.
There's not going to be others receiving votes teams.
Yeah, I'll tell you what,
nothing.
They crushed themselves in the bowl game last year, getting completely demolished. Because, Liberty is sort of a brand. I mean, when I think Liberty, I think a team that's kind of always in the mix, maybe for that Group 5. But, after that loss and then with the schedule, I don't know what they really had to do to be the Group 5 team. But there were a lot of college football insiders that had them before the season penciled in as that team.
Later on in the show, one college football who gave his players capsules last week.
Capsules?
Capsules. We'll tell you that story.
Like Tylenol?
We'll tell you the story coming up later in the show. We'll jump into what Malachi Moore said yesterday after we remind you that Chip Brown is our only guest today. He's with us at 9:30 coming up in the next segment. And this show is brought to you by our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa, your everything spa that can be a great gift if it's a birthday or the holidays coming up.
Yeah, I'm telling you, test it out. Again, it is going to be a great holiday gift for you. But one of the things, the weekend, when it rolls around, you want to sit around on the couch all day long watching the NFL, watching college football. Well, you can send the wife or girlfriend to see our friends at the Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. You can order that special person gift online 24/7 at birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Let her choose from a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services, and more. Again, 24/7, birmingham.woodhousespas.com, or get in and see Stuart and the great staff located right there at the Summit Shopping Center.
And go see America in an RV from Johnston RV Center, I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. That's where you find Johnston RV Center. And right now you can find great deals so that you can see America in that RV. How about travel trailers as low as $145 a month? Great deals there. How about fifth wheels? Savings $45,000 and more at Johnston RV Center. Lowest prices you'll find right now. And listen, they love the United States military the way they do, we do on this show. They know that they can never say thank you. Just a small way of saying thank you is a discount they give you there if you're a retired veteran or active duty. JohnstonRVCenter.com.
All right. Malachi Moore yesterday had an opportunity to talk. We played his apology, if you will, that. He got asked later on what he told the team when he had a private moment to talk to the team. And then a interesting question from our own Emily Grace McWhorter in just a second. But first, Malachi gets asked about what he actually said to the team after his meltdown at the end of that game.
Tyler Booker said that you spoke to the team. What was your message there?
Kind of the same message I'm giving y'all. I would just, I let them down as a leader in that moment. In a moment where your captain and your leader is supposed to be strong in that moment, I let my emotions get the best of me and kind of just acted out of character. So I apologized to them for that and told them that's not the way we do stuff here and that it won't happen again.
Now, I've seen, we had Roman on the show yesterday.
Right.
We've seen Damian Harris really go over the top about Malachi's action, the way it would have been handled back in his day. Mike Johnson, if you want to go see that, on Cover Crimson yesterday with Mick Gillespie, started off by saying, sometimes I feel like we're piling on Malachi too much. And then he goes, but then I'm like, dude, you just can't. And then he starts.
Yeah, then he piles on.
Then he starts piling on. He's like, no, we're not doing it enough. Another guy who played in a different era now at Alabama. So this gets us to near the end of the interview, cut number 6 here, where Emily Grace asked Malachi Moore what they can do to improve as a defense. Have you seen this answer yet, Lance?
I have not seen this answer.
Okay.
I have not seen this answer.
If I asked you just real quickly, LT, before you hear what Malachi says can improve the defense, what do you think would be a good answer from Malachi about improving the defense?
I think we got to get back to fundamental football. We've got to get back to making tackles, to not missing tackles, to forcing turnovers, to playing with an edge, to playing with urgency.
Make sure I'm giving maximum effort.
Yeah.
Maximum effort, yeah.
Yeah, make sure I'm giving maximum effort. Again, I'm a team captain. I'm a team leader. It is on me.
There's a lot of vague ways to say we need to get better.
Yeah.
Emily Grace McWhorter over in Tuscaloosa yesterday asking Malachi Moore what they can do to improve as a defense. Here's Malachi.
Now that you've had a chance to look at the film and talk with Coach Womack, what is he emphasizing on improving in this defense going forward?
Yeah, I just think sometimes we get the call in a little late, so it gives us a little anxiety of not knowing what the offense is going to run or adjusting to their formations. But Coach Woe, that's kind of was his style of calling which one to put us in the perfect position. But he knows that we're at Bama now, and he has a lot of pieces, and so he doesn't have to compensate for anything. And as long as he gives us a call and allow us to get our feet in the dirt, we're going to be great. And Coach Woe, he's been doing a great job of coming in and taking accountability on his part and the coaches and on the players too, showing us how we didn't fit stuff right or where we messed up at, and also telling us the good that we did do in the game though. So I think everybody, like I said, is being very accountable of what happened Saturday, and definitely working very hard to never happen again.
Long answer saying he doesn't. This defense doesn't believe in Kane Womack. They don't know if he knows what he's doing. He's unsteady. He's unsure. He's
getting the call in late.
Non-decisive.
I don't know who got rolled over more there, Kane Womack or South Alabama's players, or Indiana's players, or wherever Kane Womack is coached.
I know who's driving the bus.
Basically say, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, like we're not getting the call in soon enough because our defensive coordinator doesn't really understand offensively what they're doing. He needs to trust more in us because we have a lot more talent than he had before.
Yeah, we're getting the call in late. He's trying to put us in a perfect position because he's used to having put lesser players in a perfect position. We are not lesser players. Just give us a call. We'll find the position on our own.
Yeah, I don't think it's see ball, get ball, but there's obviously, maybe this is the version, we talk about the miscommunication with Hugh Freeze and his quarterback Peyton Thorne. I mean, maybe you're getting this right now in Tuscaloosa with Kane Womack and all 11 of his guys.
Yeah, I mean, that was – I don't know who he rolled over more. That was a shot at Kane Womack. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I would focus on the Kane Womack because I don't think Malachi Moore cares about the Jaguars.
Yeah, that was a brutal answer right there.
Now, EG did mention Coach Womack's name in the question, but so that's where the answer was. But getting the call in late is, if you take Malachi, he's on the field. He's part of the, Deontay's getting in his ear, the linebacker. He's got the green dot, and then he passes it along to everyone else, or they're looking over for signals, whichever form of information being passed along the information highway is happening. There's one of your captains, permanent captaincy on jersey, saying it is coming in late, and that he's trying to overcompensate because he's used to not having the kind of talent he's got here now. He doesn't have to overcompensate. He can just call it quick and let us play.
That's a relatively easy fix.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's as easy, if that's the fix, that's an easy fix. Like if you told me I could fix Alabama's defense just by getting the play call in earlier. Well, gosh, that's easy.
Yeah, I find that hard to believe that's the only problem. And I talked about this with Aaron Suttles yesterday on Bama and Bourbon. I don't think Alabama can do anything this weekend. The only thing you can do is make it worse. Like they can't. If they win 55-0, I don't think Alabama fans are like, okay, we got this thing right.
Well, yeah, but tell me, so there's nothing you don't think they can do anything to make Alabama fans go,
I think you go to Neyland and you win in 2 weeks. That's it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to take that. I don't think
I agree with you.
Yeah, and the crazy thing, like if this goes the wrong route, and look, I don't care what happens on Saturday, but if they lose to Tennessee, And it seems like let's just say
I don't think you can say I don't care what happens on Saturday anymore after losing to Vandy.
No, that's true. No, I mean it's the bottom's out.
Yeah, it's gotta
if
be
they were to lose
dumb.
to South Carolina. Yeah, let's just say that they win and they win close to the number, the 21, 22, whatever it goes off at, and then they lose a shootout to Tennessee, much like 2022. I don't know if you can get fans back on board this year. I know this sounds crazy, but if you have a second loss in the middle of October and you have lost to the state of Tennessee, and it looks like at that point, I mean, do you think Alabama's they're going to be favored in the majority of their games, all their games, maybe? I don't know. It's going to be tough to get this thing back on the track.
What were you trying to get out there? You think Alabama's already out of the playoffs if they lose to Tennessee? Is that what you were going to say?
I don't think so.
2 losses.
One of them's Vandy.
But that Georgia win's going to. I mean,
is that going to erase the Vandy loss?
I mean, guys, come on. Vandy and NIU, Northern Illinois.
Oh, I think the 2-loss Notre Dame team has a really difficult time.
Yeah,
because of Northern Illinois.
But everybody's putting 1-loss Notre Dame in, and they lost to Northern Illinois.
Well, that's 1 loss.
I know, but Vandy and another loss at Tennessee. Tennessee's a good football team. That's going to penalize you more than a loss to Northern Illinois.
But that's 2
Vandy's
losses.
a better team
2
than
to
Northern
1.
Illinois.
They are. Yeah. That's 2-1.
Yeah, but Notre Dame won't have a Georgia.
Well, they don't.
No, I think it's interesting. We're talking with 2 losses, they could be out. I think they're in with 2 losses.
I don't think they're out.
I think they're in with 2 losses. But again, if you've lost 2 of 3, you guys remind me how often Nick Saban lost 2 of 3. Outside of the first year, I think it was 1 other time, maybe twice. But if they were to lose 2 of 3 and you still got to beat Missouri, at LSU, at Oklahoma, and Auburn, I think they win those games, but I'm not sure.
See, that becomes the problem. And it starts this weekend. After, and I hate to keep saying this, but after you lose to Vandy,
you get 1 more loss.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, after you lose to Vandy, you don't go into any game the rest of the year
and
other than
confident.
Mercer and saying I feel 100% confident.
You know what? And maybe that's good.
Yeah.
Maybe this is exactly what this team needs, because I think the confidence was way too high going into Vanderbilt.
It got out of whack, didn't it?
It obviously did after the Georgia game. And the reason I didn't think it would is because of how close they came to losing that game and how epic of a just meltdown that would have been if they would have lost to Georgia.
I remember random things.
And by the way, I don't think they would have lost to Vanderbilt if they would have lost to Georgia, if that makes any sense.
I would kind of agree with you on that, yeah. I remember random things. So I remember this vividly, and I would imagine, I don't know if you two do.
By the way, that's a worse Casey Musgraves and Zach Bryan song. If it's I remember random things instead of I remember everything.
Yeah.
Better song, I remember everything.
So I remember random things, and I remember this vividly, and you two probably don't because it's not like this massive, but I bet some Alabama fans of the MyBookie.ag chat room or in our audience remember this. Back in 2014, Alabama lost at Ole Miss. You remember that game, right? Mm-hmm. And Ole Miss was number 11. I just looked it up here. 23-17. They rush the field. They tear the goalpost down. And a lot of questions about that Alabama team after that. Mm-hmm. The next Saturday, they play a road game at Arkansas and have to fight tooth and nail to beat an unranked Arkansas team 14-13.
Wasn't that like in a cold weather, wet
Yeah, it was kind of weird. October 11, it was kind of weird weather.
It was just the Amari Cooper game, right?
ESPN night game. Yeah, I think Amari Cooper made several big plays there. I think, as I remember it, Arkansas is going down early to score, and Alabama punches it out on the goal line. And that's ended up really being the difference in the game. Arkansas left 7 on the field there. So 14-13, Alabama wins. And I vividly remember we were at Jocks at the time, and we're taking phone calls. This Alabama team has no passion. This Alabama team has no leadership. Blake Sims can't get it done. They just show no – I've watched the Ole Miss game, guys. I've watched the Arkansas game. They show no emotion. And I vividly remember they came home that Saturday, and they played Texas A&M, who was ranked at the time. And they beat Texas A&M 59-0, walked them off the field.
Killed the quarterback in that game.
I remember there was like an early hit, and maybe it was on the quarterback. I can't remember. I thought it was on a kick return or something. And like the entire team comes off the bench and celebrates the hit, and the Bryant-Denny crowd cheers because that team had gotten the message. So that's why I ask you that about South Carolina. Like, there's nothing this team can show where if you're an Alabama fan, you're like, all right, that looks better. Like, do you want them to show more emotion? Do you want them to be flying around the ball? I mean, what do you want to see?
Yeah, I don't know.
You just think it's all about Knoxville.
I think they just want to beat Tennessee. I mean, it's gotten so bad. I'm looking at this picture right now, and if you look at the bottom 10 that ESPN does, and the picture they've got is of Kalen DeBoer, and he's trying to communicate something with the headset, and it says Alabama stares into the void wondering how it got here. Kalen DeBoer's got that bad T-shirt on, but he's got what looks to be a little bit of a gut. And I had some people at my house on Saturday. They were like, my gosh, has he gained a lot of weight? And I'm like, Kalen DeBoer's not like out of shape. I just don't think that T-shirt looks good. It's not like form fitting for him.
I'm not on this like Joseph Goodman is wearing this out at AL.com.
Is he talking about his gut?
No, his T-shirt.
I've seen people on Twitter and our message boards talking about this, and I think it's the most asinine conversation ever. I didn't know a legitimate journalist was writing about this.
But doesn't it look like
it's too tight?
Look, Dunaway.
He needs to size up.
He looks like he's got a massive gut.
No, he needs to size up.
Yeah, as a guy who does have a massive gut, either you wear something you tuck, and that helps a little bit, or you go oversized baggy. If it's too long.
Watch Mike Elko. You do not do that.
No, that's too long.
Mike Elko's like the seam.
Way too long.
The seam comes down to his knees.
That's what I'm saying. When it's too long, all you're doing
there it is.
All you're doing is thin and boom.
Yeah. I am not on this, coach can't wear a T-shirt. My coach at the Miami Dolphins, everybody makes fun of the way he dresses.
Oh, my God.
If he dresses like that in the Super Bowl, I don't care.
That's right.
He can coach in underwear in the
Looks
Super
like
Bowl. I don't care.
He's Tony Soprano's driver.
You know what? If he's winning games, I don't care.
The greatest NFL coach of all time got a pocket knife out and cut off sleeves of a hoodie.
Don't care. I do not care how my coach dresses on the sidelines.
Again, this is another thing, and this is one thing you really take a look at because, again, I think Kalen DeBoer is one of the top 2 or 3 coaches in all of college football. And I know that's hard to say after he lost to Vanderbilt. And by the way, Alabama can do something I don't think anybody in the history of college football has ever done.
Lose to Vandy and win a national championship?
Yep. Yeah. But Kalen DeBoer is going to start, his wife, his kids are going to start hearing, your dad's got a gut. I can't believe your dad wears a T-shirt as a head coach.
Why is he so sloppy?
They could go 10-2 this year, get to a college football playoff. An NFL team could come calling, and he could be like, you know what, man, this is crazy.
I can wear T-shirts
like,
in the
people
NFL.
are breaking down. It doesn't matter that I was a top 10 team in year 1, went to a college football playoff, beat all these rivals, but people are criticizing me wearing a T-shirt and me having a gut on the sideline.
Tyler, you're going to have to do Mike. All right, so Tyler's got Mike Elko at Duke. Let's do Mike Elko, Texas A&M. I know we got to get to Chip.
Chip Brown coming up in a second. While you're doing that, tell us about Inverness Country Club LT. We're going to be out there for a special show next week, right?
Yeah, I wanted to tell you give you the details. So this is going to be a week from yesterday. We will be out there, really looking forward to it. Our friend Lauren Sisler, you did a special with her,
Huddle
I guess.
Up, yeah.
Shatterproof. The book launch party is going to be at the Inverness Country Club from 4 to 7. We're going to be live 4 to 5, and then there's going to be a live Q&A with Lauren. It's going to be that simple. It is brought to you by Little Professor, our friends at the Inverness Country Club. But that is October 15th from 4 until 7. We would love for any and all to come out. They're going to have food there. We'll have a bar. We'll have a cash bar. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We'd love to know. And I guess we can put this on the website and maybe get RSVPs to see exactly how many people we've got coming. But this will be next Tuesday night at the Inverness Country Club, where they've got memberships that fit everyone. ICCalabama.com for more information. But join us October 15th, Inverness Country Club for the Shatterproof book launch with our friend Lauren Sisler.
And there you see the details about that, 4 to 7 there, and we'll be live 4 to 5. If you can't make it, you can join us live online. We're anywhere in the world where the books are available for you there. Shatterproof, the book launch with our buddy Lauren Sisler, who has a life-changing story to tell you about in that book, and she shares it often as she speaks around the country. All right, one more thing on the wardrobe, Brownie, of Mike Elko.
There it is. Tyler found, that's a pretty good one of Mike Elko. You can't do that, Dunaway. So he's tried to go so loose it doesn't fit tight on the stomach.
Right.
It's almost like a chef's coat.
That's right. That requires a seam that gets all the way down to your knees. That's an equally bad look. Yeah. Sometimes you just got to embrace, I'm a big dude. People are going to be able to notice my stomach is touched by my shirt.
And you almost want to make it almost tighter. Not too tight, but almost tight.
Yeah, there's a way to play this. Once he gets into his hoodie game, he's going to be fine.
Hoodie season, it'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you really just have to do what I do all the time. Just always ask Taylor nicely, please don't post any pictures of me sideways. Always straight on pictures.
I think
always straight on pictures.
I think this shows you how humble DeBoer is. I'm sure his wife, too. She's probably not one of those that looks at the T-shirt and she's like, damn, honey, you've been eating well in Tuscaloosa.
How's that barbecue?
But now these things are going to come out, and they're probably going to be like, oh, my gosh, people are criticizing me wearing a T-shirt?
Chip Brown coming up in our next segment. We'll talk to him about the first ever SEC Red River Rivalry, the Red River Shootout. We're going to call it the Shootout.
Oh, yeah.
It's Texas, it's Oklahoma. Unless you're an Oklahoma fan, then it's OU in Texas. It's in Dallas at the State Fair this weekend. Chip joins us. It's a big, big game, especially for the Sooners. They can wreck the Longhorn season again. or at least send it in a different direction. That's coming up on the other side of the show, brought to you by our friends at Roback. Use that promo code TNR20. Get 20% off right now, roback.com, roback.com. Forster has a Roback hoodie on right now. And, of course, our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Back in a moment.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Bright Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Hey, you feel that? That's fall in the air. And New Balance Birmingham got your fresh fall pair. To kick it during game time and sport from the sideline. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280 right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Happy football season. At the next round, we strive to make our loyal listeners feel like they're a part of the action all season long. My name is Grace McWhorter, and I do that by bringing you along for any given Saturday in Auburn or Tuscaloosa. From pregame warm-ups, touchdowns that make you feel a part of the play, and everything in between, our goal is to make you feel like you're inside Bryant Denny or Jordan Hare. Follow along on our social media at Next Round Live on Instagram, X, and Facebook. Also, check out thebarnauburn.com and covercrimson.com while you're at it. Here's to Fall Saturdays.
From the creators of The Next Round comes 2 new sites, covercrimson.com and thebarnauburn.com. 2 team sites with the same excitement and information-driven content that you get every day on The Next Round. Live daily shows, recorded shows, free of charge, plus premium content with insider information starting at just $1. And it's the perfect gift for the Alabama or Auburn fan in your family. Covercrimson.com or thebarnauburn.com. Sign up today.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
By now, you guys know how I feel about my fashion. However, did you know that I care about your fashion choices? Cargo shorts are out, flip-flops are only appropriate on the boat, and please throw away that stained t-shirt from college. You may be thinking, EG, that's all I own. What do I do? Here's what you do. Go to nextround.store and fill your cart with a wardrobe that is approved by me. Stock up on logo t-shirts, hoodies for football season, and hats for every day of the week. Trust me on this one and head over to nextround.store to get stocked up for this season.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Show 803 today. Chip Brown's been a part of a lot of our shows, but for the first time ever, he is about to talk to us about game week at the Red River Shootout as an SEC conference game. That's exciting to see. I hope Oklahoma comes to fight.
Oh, Scott's called it a trap game. Trap game.
Who called it?
Scott in his upset alert yesterday called this a trap game for Texas.
Forster called it a trap game?
He
That's
did.
a 4-letter word, trap.
That's a disrespect from Texas if this is a truly a trap
Scott's
game.
playing mind games, I think. Chip Brown is with us. Chip Brown 247. It's where you find him on social media. You can also hear him with our buddy Zay, streaming every day at Texas Sports Unfiltered 1 to 3. What is up, Chip? How are you, my friend?
What's going on, fellas? Red River Shootout week, greatest week in college football, greatest game day atmosphere, in college football, now an SEC game. Hope all the SEC fans listening to your great program will put it on their bucket list to get to the State Fair of Texas.
Yes, you should. Do you know, and this is, something we should probably know. We're in the same city as the SEC. Do you know, is the SEC planning on doing anything special for this as a welcome to this rivalry? I mean, I don't know what they could do, but do you know if they're doing anything?
Well, they're giving
Not
them
that
checks.
I've heard of.
I guess, other than the big check that shows up all the time. That's it, right?
Other than the big check.
Yeah.
Hey, how healthy is Quinn Ewers?
I think he's healthy. I think he's healthy. He was healthy enough to play against Mississippi State. I think Steve Sarkisian just wanted to be, extra cautious, give him the extra week, because for the first time, this is crazy, and the first time in the 100+ year Red River Shootout rivalry, they're both teams are coming off weeks. So this should be interesting. Brent Venables usually has a little something extra for this game with all of his zone blitzes and games that he likes to play up front on defense. And Steve Sarkisian usually has a little something for the folks in this game too. So just crazy momentum swings. People don't understand the reason why this game is special is because they divide the seating at the 50. Half of the Cotton Bowl is burnt orange, half of it is crimson, and the sound doesn't go down in this game until one team starts to exert dominance, and that can mess with the players' minds. If you're on the right side of that momentum, it lifts you up like Superman. If you're on the wrong side of it, it can make you feel like you're hungover.
Those that remember the old Alabama-Auburn game at Legion Field, quote-unquote neutral site, it was a 50-50 split that was often 70-30 Alabama, but supposedly a 50-50. So it brings back great memories. It is one of the reasons I love this game. How does Quinn Ewers play in this game usually? Has he showed up in this game?
So he came off of a 3-game hiatus due to injury 2 years ago in 2022.
Sounds familiar. Okay, go ahead.
Threw for 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. That was the 49-0 rout, the Red River rout by Texas, largest win in the history of the series. And then last year, he turned it over 3 times. But he bounced back and, like in true Tony Romo fashion, turns it over 3 times, then completes 19 straight passes for a school record, breaking Colt McCoy's record, and completes 26 of the final 28, helps Texas overcome a 10-point deficit, take the lead 30-27 with 1:17 left, and then the Texas defense couldn't hold it.
If you count the Big 12 championship game where these two met, Oklahoma has won 7 of the last 10 against Texas. Also, if you count that game, they've won 5 of the last 6. What has been the kryptonite for Texas in this game over the last decade?
Yeah, they've not had the better team. I mean,
that's pretty bad kryptonite.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley took the mantle from Bob Stoops. Stoops dominated this series. Obviously, Oklahoma dominated the Big 12. I mean, 14 conference championships in the 28 years of the league. Texas had 4. But I think now, Brent Venables has a defense that he really likes. Feels like it's, okay, this is my defense. I mean, the last 2 years, Brent Venables' first and second year on the job, his offense was the better side of the football. Now, clearly, it's his defense, especially with the quarterback issues that OU's had, going from, Dylan Gabriel, who beat Texas. I mean, he beat Texas last year with 113 rushing yards in this game. In addition to his accuracy passing, he goes to Oregon. OU's got Jackson Arnold, but he's a turnover machine, 5 turnovers through the first 3 games. They go to freshman Michael Hawkins, who's taking care of the football, but I mean, he's getting by on bread and water. I mean, they're hitting like 4 explosive plays. They only had 47 plays on offense against Auburn. I mean, and they won thanks to their defense with that pick six. They're calling it the Kip Six because it was Kip Lewis who picked it off and returned it for the go-ahead touchdown.
And didn't think that would be a monumental moment in Oklahoma football history.
The Kip Six?
They're sitting at 4-1, Chip. They're a top 20 team, at least in the rankings. They don't feel like that at all, though. And I would ask you this, and after Saturday in Nashville, I think everybody should be on upset alert. But are Texas fans concerned about this game at all?
Yes, because they were 5-point favorites last year and lost. And so I think if Quinn Ewers picks up where he left off in this game a year ago, or if he plays like he has in, at Alabama, at Michigan, where he's, converting third downs like at a crazy rate and throwing 3 touchdown passes, no interceptions, it'll be Texas's, it'll be a nice day at the State Fair for Texas fans, because Quinn Ewers, this is the year, that he's been shooting for. He wants to do something special with this team. I'll be surprised if he doesn't, come out and play really well in this game.
You're naming these games like Red River Route and the Kip Six. Do you have a Danny Tex Moore or somebody that paints great paintings of this?
Let's see. Legends are made in this game. It's crazy. You can make one big play and they'll remember it forever. There's a guy named Peter Gardere who played quarterback at Texas. He's the only quarterback on either side of this rivalry to win 4 times in the series. And they call him Peter the Great. He played on a bunch of mediocre football teams at Texas, although 1990 was pretty good. He was on that team too.
Yeah, Peter the Great. I like that.
Chip, before you go, this might be a bit of an unfair question to you because I don't know how much Alabama, Georgia you got to watch. I know Texas was on a bye last week. I can't imagine.
I watched a lot.
Okay, so you watched a lot of that. Did you watch any of Alabama?
Carson Beck throw up all over himself. Yeah. Jalen Milroe looked great. Then Carson Beck figured it out. Then Jalen Milroe continued to look great.
Yeah. All right. Did you watch any of Alabama Vanderbilt during Texas bye week?
All of it.
Okay, so you've watched enough to answer
Diego
this question.
Pavea, baby.
Yeah,
Johnny Manziel light.
He can play. He's not anything light. But he can play.
No, he's not.
He ain't surviving on bread and water.
Yeah, it ain't bread and water in Nashville for that kid.
Burritos and beer.
I wanted to ask you this because Joel Klatt on our show says Alabama has become an old school Big 12 team. That they played defense like the Big 12 played with Lincoln Riley there and some of those Texas teams, and they survive on a lot of offense. You watched a lot of Big 12 football. Did that look like an old school Big 12 team to you?
You know what? It kind of did, and that's not going to be reassuring to Alabama fans. But yeah, the defense needs work there in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah. So that looked familiar to you from watching the Big 12.
It did look familiar. Oh. Yeah. That's shootout football. That's Big 12 football.
Yeah. That's not what Alabama fans wanted to hear from Chip there.
Nope.
All right, Chip. Enjoy the Red River. We'll get out there with you for it one year.
Hey,
go Lions.
They have a funnel cake bacon queso burger. That is to
Explain
die
it.
for
Yeah.
at the State Fair.
What's the
describe
layout?
It. Yeah, describe it.
So your buns are 2 pieces of funnel cake. So it's messy.
Yeah.
The burger, bacon, and queso.
Man.
It'll blow your doors off.
I want my doors blown off. I'm going to get out there.
Yeah, as long as it's not blowing my muffler off, I'm okay.
Yeah, you might want to split it with somebody because it's they might as well just call it the artery heart.
Wait, will you have one this week?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Every year.
Yeah.
Chip, you saw me at SEC Media Days. You think I'm splitting that with anybody? Come on, dude.
Damn right.
Come on,
That's what
man.
I'm talking about.
Come on,
Dunaway.
man.
You got this.
I ain't splitting with nobody.
All right, Chip. Thank you, buddy. Good talking with you as always.
Anytime, fellas.
All right, we'll see you. Chip Brown with us, Chip Brown 247 on social media. Also, he and Zay Collier do a great job every single day, 1 to 3. Chip with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Might be the top of my bucket list of games I haven't attended.
Yeah. I mean, after we go to Georgia Tech on a Thursday night game and we go to jump around, let's go to that one.
I honestly want to go, but I hate that it's 11 o'clock.
It's 2:30 this year. You could go.
Let's go.
Like you're talking about going this year?
It is 2:30 this year.
It is 2:30. I don't know if
will
it'll
we ever have a night game?
I think we will. I don't think it'll ever be 11.
Chip,
They do say they can't close the park down fast enough, so 2:30 may be the late one.
Yeah, the night game, it causes an issue with the state fair. And
this may forever be 2:30 from now on then.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think, probably like the cocktail party, like the SEC basically mandated CBS, you're carrying the cocktail party at 2:30.
Yep.
I think that's what this will be for that game.
Interesting, I didn't know they named parts of these games. The Red River Route, the Kip 6, Peter the Great. Danny Tex Moore. Didn't get a laugh from you guys on that, but Daniel A. Moore, who's still painting great moments in Alabama history, can get you hooked up with the legend. Remember that guy, Nick Saban, back when he won 6 national championships for Alabama? Had a little dynasty going on. You can celebrate that dynasty with a DanielMooreArt.com piece. Just pre-order right now, DanielMooreArt.com. Saban had autographed some of these prints. See if there's any available right now still of the autographed Saban prints that benefits Nick's kids and that foundation by going to DanielMooreArt.com. Regardless, order yours right now, whether it's an autographed one or not. Maybe you can get it autographed later on. Nick's still around a lot these days, so go ahead and order and get that DanielMooreArt.com piece, The Legend. And don't forget the 2025 calendar is available as well, celebrating the Coach Saban era at Alabama. Use the coupon code TNR to get 20% off that calendar right now. It's our friends DanielMooreArt.com and our friends at Milo's. They don't have that burger that he was talking about with the queso. They have that unique flavor. I was at a golf course yesterday, our friends at Bentbrook, and they got a little Milo sauce that they throw onto their hot dogs.
That's a game changer.
Hey, if you've got a tailgate party you're throwing, you've got an office party you want to cater, our friends at Milo's, they will get it done for you. The catering options range from individualized box lunches, ideal for any work or team gathering, to customized build-your-own burger bars, which would be a hit at any tailgate. Special offer for the next round viewer and listener, $10 off. First-time catering orders this fall. Enter the code catering10, that's all caps, catering10, when you order Milo's through the Milo's mobile app. To learn more, visit miloshamburgers.com/catering. That is miloshamburgers.com/catering. Stay saucy.
Daniel in the mybookie.ag chat room. Milo's has the best honey mustard out there. I would agree with that. Underrated chicken fingers there. Tyler, if you'll give me cut number 9, Steve Sarkisian giving us an update on the status of Quinn Ewers. So cut number 9 for us there, Tyler, and we'll talk more about the Red River Shootout on how the Sooners possibly could upset the Horns a little bit. Here is Sark on the update of his quarterbacks. Here, hit him, man.
I think a couple things. One, Quinn worked last week for our 3 practices. He practiced again today. I thought he looked good coming off the bye. I think if anybody benefited from the time off, it was probably him. We're going to monitor him daily just to kind of see how he continues to progress. But I feel good about if how he was today. I feel good about him going Saturday, but that remains to be seen. And I have no hesitation with Arch going in the game. I think he's proven that to us over 2.5 games of football that he's really played in and competed in, that he can run our offense and he can be successful. And so, like I said, like I talked about the offensive line, we're fortunate to be in the position that we're in, to have 2 quality players at the quarterback position that we have confidence in and that their teammates have confidence in.
Chip gave us 100% health report on Quinn Ewers. Meanwhile, Sark makes it sound like we're going to need to rub some oil and burn some incense to get him on the field.
I don't think this is a Cam Rising situation. I fully expect Ewers to be back in there and playing. You heard Chip say, look, he could have been ready for Mississippi State, but they decided just to go with Arch Manning. But in this game, Ewers will be back, and I think it's a totally different Texas team with Ewers in there.
How does Oklahoma win this game?
Takeaways. Oklahoma, one of the best in college football, and Chip mentioned the fact that they were a 5-point underdog last year with Dylan Gabriel. You've got a downgrading quarterback, and maybe Michael Hawkins ends up being incredible, but at this point in his career, still early on. So I think you would have to be +3 in turnovers, run the ball effectively, Hawkins some explosive plays, and, Ewers maybe a little rust. I think that's the only path to victory. Rivalries there is something special about them. Ball bounces a weird way sometimes, but I don't see Texas losing this game.
Yeah, Oklahoma is +8 in turnover margin, which is 3rd in the nation, to Lance's point there.
Sadly, that means they played Auburn.
Yeah, but they only got the one from Auburn.
That's right.
Yeah, but they are +8, and like Lance said, in a rivalry game, generally you get some weird bounces, a ball, a couple turnovers. That's really the only way I could see it. I mean, if I'm an Oklahoma fan, Lance, I am scared to death about Michael Hawkins in this game. I mean, he's never been in this type of situation.
You had a whole off week. Is there a chance all of a sudden Jackson Arnold is back as the guy? Is there a possibility you have a Jackson Arnold sighting in this?
We haven't heard that Jackson Arnold is tapping out, and I thought that we may hear that by this point. I do think if you don't see Jackson Arnold in this game, are we really going to see him again?
Yeah, but
he could. I mean, that could be a possibility behind the scenes.
He was your starter. He'd won the job. He was your guy going into the season. You've had the extra week of prep. You've seen how offensively challenged you are without him.
Yeah, and Seth Littrell, your offensive coordinator, who, this was a situation, the former North Texas coach, we're going to bring him back. Brent Venables thought that he could run a similar offense to what Jeff Lebby was running. Jeff Lebby at Mississippi State, that has been disastrous early on, but so has Seth Littrell taking off the offensive coordinator roles.
No, you're absolutely right about that. You feel good about Texas 14.5?
No.
No, you don't?
No, that's a lot of points.
Yeah, in a rivalry game, that is a lot of points.
But I wouldn't feel great about taking Oklahoma plus.
It's one of those games, right?
Yeah, but think of how many times Alabama lost at Jordan-Hare. And then how many times, the same equivalent Auburn team goes and gets blown out in Tuscaloosa back under the Saban years and the other coaches at Auburn. If those games had ever been neutral site,
they play differently. Yeah, Alabama played much worse at Jordan-Hare. And I don't know if Texas would at Oklahoma. We've never seen it. And I don't know if Oklahoma would in Austin.
I don't either. But the neutral site does
it
take
minimizes
a little of that edge off.
It minimizes the crowd, though. Chip said the crowd actually becomes a big factor in this game, he thinks, even though it's a 50-50 crowd. So maybe it doesn't minimize it as much. I don't know.
And for the olds that are watching us, if you're old enough to remember the 70s, 80s, 90s, or if you're still alive from the 60s and so forth, that Legion Field setting was that way. There was a loud cheer in the stadium every play.
Yeah, no matter what.
Yeah, because somebody did something good on every play. There was a positive for your team or a positive for the other team. So that's what you get in this game. Apparently, that's what you're supposedly getting in the Georgia-Florida game. And, I know it was never really 50-50 at Legion Field. And Auburn
it seemed like it at times.
It did, because 30% of the stadium or 40% of the stadium could still make a lot of noise when the other part was being quiet. But it was always more Alabama fans there. It is a more beneficial setup for Auburn to have this game on campus. This one never seems like one fan base has a huge advantage. It literally always looks like a 50-50 split.
Yeah, I mean, when they show like the Skycam shots and all that, or the drone or whatever they're using, it looks like there is that divide, and it is all burnt orange and all crimson and cream. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't even look like sometimes like if you were watching Arkansas, Tennessee Saturday night, that Tennessee orange is very bold. You could see it just dotted throughout the stadium. I feel like I almost never see that in the Red River. I mean, Scott's showing a photo. Let me see if that backs up my my theory there.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I mean, it just seems like you never see those opposing fans in the other section at the Red River for whatever reason.
And if you've ever been to the Red River, let me know. I assume they do not put up a fence right there on the 50-yard line.
Stop fights.
To stop the fights. So that would be, I guess they're counting on you having a lot of money and a little couth if you're sitting on the 50s at the Red River, right?
Yeah, probably a bad assumption.
They're not counting on you getting in a fist fight at where the crimson and the burnt orange meet there in this game.
Boy, could not believe how old that stadium is.
It is.
Yeah, I don't. Lance, have you ever been to the Cotton Bowl? I know Jim has.
Yeah. I have not.
It looks like Legion Field. It's old, but they've tried to do updates over the years. The Cotton Bowl literally looks like it did in 1960.
Yep.
Like it looks like they've done no updates whatsoever on that stadium.
They have done some.
Well, they've added seats,
but they don't look like they've done a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they've added seats. I mean, those end zones are now enclosed. They were not enclosed back in the day, so they've added seats.
I want to say it was the 1990 Cotton Bowl I went to. I was for a New Year's Eve party in Dallas, and then we went to the game the next day.
Oh yeah,
and it was cold as F, and it was it was half empty. I want to say it was a Texas A&M and somebody game. I can't remember who played.
It sounded like it made a huge impression.
Yeah, really.
I don't even know who played.
I was horribly hungover, and did not want to go. I just wanted some black eyed peas and a nap. And if you remember, that Cotton Bowl starts early, or it did back then.
Oh, yeah. It was the first one. It's like what the Outback Bowl became. Yeah, it was like the 10 a.m. Central Kick or whatever.
I was like, are we really doing this?
I ain't even been to bed.
And Bama's not playing, and we're really doing this?
Is this at the top of your list? Would you rather go to Army-Navy than this one?
Oh, I'd rather go Red River.
I'd rather go to Red River.
Would you rather?
I mean, first of all, better weather.
Yeah.
It's always cold at Army-Navy or rainy.
It seems more like there's something more buttoned up about that. That's almost like going to a more formal event, like a wedding or a funeral.
You're not there really as much for the game as you are for just to, say thank you to everybody who's defending freedom and
like
what you're
really
doing.
taking that in. I mean, you could just have one of those all over the place weekends if you went to Dallas for that.
But I would love doing the fair. A little pre-gaming in the fair, a little post-gaming in the fair.
Not just neutral site, but any rivalry game you haven't been to. Would this be at the top of your list?
I think the biggest one, other than the Iron Bowl, is Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah, you'd like to go to that.
No, really.
Not more than Texas, Oklahoma?
No, I get plenty of that on TV.
Yeah.
I did growing
this
up.
game's on TV too Saturday.
I know,
Okay.
I know. But it's just a on-campus game. I mean,
I would rather go
fair.
to Ohio State, Michigan, I think.
Would you rather do it in Big House or the Horseshoe?
I would rather do it in the Horseshoe.
Yeah, another old stadium, by the way. They haven't updated.
Yeah, it just seems like more of, I don't know. It seems like a better college
I'm
atmosphere.
with you. I think I'd rather do.
See, I'd rather do, if I went to that one, I'd rather do it in the Big House.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'd much rather do Horseshoe than Big House.
Yeah.
If I go Ohio State, Michigan, I want to go to Columbus. But I think I'd go Red River in front of Ohio State, Michigan. Just for the state fair aspect. It's got to be such a good atmosphere.
Just for the food.
Yeah.
Just to sit there and eat the food and ride the scrambler.
Yeah. I just don't see how they do all the parking and all that.
I don't either.
I mean, if you got an actual state fair going, it seems like parking just for the state fair alone is going to be a headache.
But we saw it as we drove in SEC Media Days in our McCurry van and car rental van. As we're driving in, we saw the big cowboy out there.
Oh, yeah.
And we saw where it was, and it was acres and acres of parking.
Yeah, but
there's got to be a shuttle from parking like ZZZ.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to get a shuttle in, maybe a train. One more thing. Before we get to the top of the hour, show being brought to you in part by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. Michelson Laser Vision. We'll do our sneaky good game 4 downs in the next hour as well. Tell us about Michelson.
Yeah, make the phone call that I made 21 years ago. Ask for Amy, 205-969-8100. Tell her the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You have 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. I had the 2200 vision, was legally blind without the LASIK procedure. After I got that done, 2015 vision, better than 2020. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
If you're watching on a video platform, if you're audio only, you can jump back in and check this out at the end of hour number 1. I'm about to do a demonstration. But also, if you're an Auburn or Alabama fan, covercrimson.com, thebarnauburn.com. It's our team site. Great content there every day for free, and also some premium content. Brown, sell us more on this $1. You jump on for $1, see if you like it or not. If you like it, you hang around.
I think it's a great sale right there. It's
price.
$1, so you can see what you like there on the message boards with the recruiting information, film breakdowns, participation breakdowns, and all that. Thebarnauburn.com, covercrimson.com. Join for $1. A lot of the content is free there too, so go to those YouTube sites, Cover Crimson and The Barn Auburn, and see the free shows they have. All right, what are you going to demonstrate?
Listen, for people that were my age when we played wiffle ball, we always did this.
Sounds like you
surely you guys did this at some point too. Everybody always did one of these.
Oh, you turned your back when you threw?
Louis
Tion.
Louis
Tion, yeah.
He died yesterday at the age of 83.
I thought he was already dead.
I would have guessed dead as well, but everyone had tried to do a Louis Tion where you would start off facing, and in your windup you would go all
the way you'd turn your back so they couldn't see how you're holding the ball.
I just realized I don't spin as far around as I used to.
Tough backswing.
I used to go all the way to second base with him. Louis Tion, who is unique, most of his career with the Red Sox, 229 wins from Cuba, right? He was a defector?
I thought he was Dominican.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Jim jumped out way on the left.
No, you could be right.
Yeah.
We're going to look it up.
Let's see here.
He's from Cuba. Havana,
really?
Cuba. How do we, Jimmy?
Yeah, I always liked that guy. Back when the Red Sox weren't always great, but he was fantastic, and everybody tried to do that in Little League back in the day. And they were like, just throw strikes. Stop trying to do that. Just throw strikes.
Yeah, he was, so in 1968, 21-9 with a 1.60 ERA, finished 5th in MVP voting. 21-9 now with a 1.60 ERA is definitely at least going to get you the site.
Yeah. And he'd have enough money to buy Cuba at that point if he had that record now. Louis Tion, dead at the age of 83. When we come back, more college football. This is the next round.
Follow the Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness. From the creators of The Next Round comes two new sites, covercrimson.com and thebarnauburn.com. Two team sites with the same excitement and information-driven content that you get every day on The Next Round. Live daily shows, recorded shows, free of charge, plus premium content with insider information starting at just $1. And it's the perfect gift for the Alabama or Auburn fan in your family. Covercrimson.com or thebarnauburn.com. Sign up today.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Our friends at Milo's Hamburger invites you to join them in the fight against hunger in our local communities by bringing non-perishable food items to your local Milo's, including canned goods. When you donate a canned good or any non-perishable food item, Milo's will give you a free drink. Together, we can make a difference.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family, all at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
We talk about all the biggest games every Monday at 10:30 with Fox Sports analyst Joel Klatt. Presented by MyBookie.ag, promo code NEXTROUND. If it is meaningful at all in college football, we cover it Mondays with Joel Klatt, presented by MyBookie.ag on the Next Round.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hour number 2 of the show here, LTD&B with you, with Tyler behind the big board back there in the big glass, with Forrester, Taylor, and EG in our social media area. Happy to have Connor in from Briarwood High School shadowing us in the studio today over in the Lego chair. As we work towards another college football weekend, 5 of the top 11 lost last week in a week that did not look like it had any monumental games. On paper, a better-looking schedule this week, right?
Yes. This is the weekend we waited for all offseason. Don't you remember?
We waited on this one?
Yeah.
It is good. Yeah.
Everybody all offseason pointed at
Week 7.
Week 7 because Ohio State was going to Oregon, which, by the way, felt like a much bigger game for some reason in the offseason than it does now that we've gotten
and
it.
it's
But
crazy.
it's still 2-3.
Yeah, I was going to say both are undefeated.
But we pointed at this game all summer, and I feel like it's gotten here now, and it just doesn't
and
feel
I think
as big.
the other really appealing game in the preseason was Ole Miss going to LSU because at that point, Ole Miss wasn't going to be tested. They were going to be undefeated, and more than likely, LSU was going to be undefeated.
Yep, that's another good one. We just were looking forward to Texas and Oklahoma. That's this weekend. I don't know how we felt about Penn State, USC. That's sort of sneaky good to me this weekend.
I said this last weekend. I thought the most impactful game of last weekend ended up maybe being Vanderbilt knocking off Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
But Missouri and Texas A&M, and I said, look, the winner of this game is going to have a clear path to the college football playoff, and nobody's talking about this game enough. And I think the game on Saturday is Kansas State at Colorado.
Coming up after 10:30, we'll do our sneaky good game we do every Wednesdays here. But I don't think we thought Kansas State, Colorado would have the implications it's going to have going into the rest of the season. That becomes a big game in the Big 12. So a lot of good, fun college football coming up this weekend. CPAP Plus brings you this part of the show. Tell us about the folks at CPAP Plus.
If you're looking for the best CPAP gear with personal service you can trust, visit CPAP Plus. 3 convenient locations, Pelham Highway 280, trustful new customers. They've got something special for the next round viewer and listener. $20 credit towards the purchase of a new mask system, a CPAP cleaner, even a travel CPAP machine. All you got to do is mention the next round to the O'Neill brothers, that fine staff right there at CPAP Plus. Stop by today at CPAP Plus where you're going to find the best service and equipment all in stock, all ready for you with hundreds of 5-star Google reviews. Trust CPAP Plus for all of your CPAP needs. CPAP Plus, where every night matters.
Brown, to your point, it is 2 traveling to play number 3 in the AP rankings. So it is a monumental game, now a Big Ten conference game, but it does feel a little different. But it's not different for Dan Lanning because Dan Lanning this week gets asked if this is the biggest home game, wait for it, in Oregon football history, the biggest home game in Oregon football history. Dan Lanning, who's been in the sun, loves him some hype. Here's Dan Lanning.
Coach, this program's seen a lot of big games in its history at Austin Stadium. You've coached in a few of them yourselves. Do you feel like this matchup against Ohio State, top 5, top 3 matchup, may be the biggest that this program has ever seen in its history?
I certainly can't speak to the entire history of Oregon. I think this is a really big game. I think this is a great opportunity for 2 great teams to get to play against each other. Again, I think that's why you come to a place like this, but I think this will be an awesome atmosphere for our fans and certainly our players.
Wow.
Usually, he doesn't like the hype.
Yeah.
Usually, this is the type of, it's usually Michigan and Ohio State. That's about the only time you get this type of game in the Big Ten. That's changed.
So Brock Heward is swearing this is one of the best environments in all of college football. And watching on television, sometimes it looks like a great environment. Now,
our buddy Jace was there last week, and I texted him in the middle of the game. I think it was a Friday night game, right?
It was.
Yeah, Friday night against
I texted him in the middle
Michigan
of the
State.
game, and I was expecting him to say it's not that big a deal. I was like, hey, this gets played up like it's an SEC stadium. And I said, is it all that? And he wrote back, middle of the game. He's like, dude, this place is crazy.
And that was
good.
for Michigan State.
Well, on a Friday night. But, Heward was telling me that about 2 or 3 hours before they start playing the music, and it just goes, it's a massive party. He said the way that Autzen is built is the sound is kind of trapped in.
Yep.
And he said, look, I've been to all the SEC stadiums, and they're all great. He was like, some maybe a little overrated, but this is truly one of the, pound for pound noisiest stadiums out there.
You remember when Tennessee went out there? I think they got beat pretty bad. I can't even remember who the coaches were in that game, but Tennessee did a home and home with Oregon.
I don't remember that. I remember the home and home with Cal.
I'll go find the year. But I remember talking to a Tennessee fan, expecting the same exact thing you said, expecting him to say, look, I go to Neyland Stadium every Saturday. We go to the Swamp. We go to Bryant-Denny. This is nothing. And he came back and he's like, buddy, that's as good as any SEC environment I have ever been in.
We were in the downstairs in our big jock studios before we moved upstairs when that trip happened. Because I remember,
sure?
Yeah, my Tennessee buddies went on the trip.
What did they think? Did you talk to them?
Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And I
remember that's when
I'm
he came back with his 6th grader standing in the middle of the Oregon cheerleaders taking a picture.
I
remember
about Mississippi State doing the home and home.
This was 2013.
Wow.
Tennessee lost 59-14 in Eugene. It wasn't a back-to-back home and home. It was a 2010 and a 2013. 2010 in Knoxville, 2013 in Eugene. Oregon won both those. 59-14, they got blown out. And I remember that Tennessee fan was like, man, I wanted to go just to see it, and I'm glad I did. It's as good as any SEC environment I've ever been in.
Hey, and flip it around. So Jace was on his birthday trip. He left Friday seeing that Oregon game and went up Saturday to see Washington's home game with Michigan and was at the shaky camera game at Washington.
Wow, what a trip that is.
And he said that one underrated loud and really great atmosphere. And he said, you always hear about great tailgating for the Washington game. He said the Oregon tailgating surprisingly good as well.
Oh,
so
I believe
great
it.
atmospheres.
It just seems like a pain in the ass to get to.
It does. Dylan Gabriel has been disappointing to me this year. I mean, his turnovers, that Michigan State game, if you watched it on Friday, that was 2 red zone interceptions.
And he threw one the week before against UCLA.
Yeah, they're going in for points. Red zone interceptions. You do that against Ohio State, they'll run you out of the stadium. Like, I don't think Klatt said it the other day. Ohio State's a really good team, except maybe their quarterback. I don't think Klatt is real high, and he's watched a lot of Ohio State this year. I don't think he's real high on their quarterback.
I think a lot of people are undecided on how good Will Howard is, and I think when you look at what Cal McCord's doing right now at Syracuse, you're like, maybe we should have just stood pat and played Kyle McCord.
I mean, Will Howard is...
He hasn't been bad, though.
12 touchdowns, 3 picks, 249 a game. He's throwing 71%. I mean, those are pretty good numbers, but it's just like, I think, first of all, Ohio State hasn't been particularly tested. Who have you seen Ohio State play that is any good at all?
Iowa's the only one with a heartbeat.
Iowa's the only one with a heartbeat. They have wins over Akron, Western Michigan, Marshall, on the road at Michigan State, and against Iowa. That's it. Nobody's played them particularly close. So it is hard to get a gauge when we're this deep in the season and you've just not really played anybody that's got a heartbeat. So I don't know what Ohio State is.
And that's why we're watching this to really see the best of Ohio State if they can do it. Jace agrees with you guys, pain in the butt to get there. I think I think I saw him say it was 4 hours from Seattle to Eugene. Now, you know maps freak me out, Brown. I don't believe the maps.
Maps freak me out.
Yeah, I don't believe the maps really are what they are.
Right.
Because in the East, we're a lot closer than it seems. But I picture Seattle to Eugene. That's just basically Knoxville to Birmingham, right? 4 hours?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Knoxville to Birmingham's a 4-hour drive.
Or, Birmingham to 30A.
And
4 hours.
And Jace is in the chat. So, Jace, let me know if I was correct. I think I saw somewhere you said it was about 4 hours from Seattle to Eugene.
So what freaks you out about that? You think it should be longer?
Just on the way their map looks, doesn't it?
Tyler,
seem like
can you pull up the map?
Doesn't it seem like Knoxville to Birmingham is closer than Seattle to Eugene?
I mean,
there's a lot of space out west.
I'm going to look at the map when Tyler pulls it up, but I just don't feel that way. You just need a let's do just do a United States map.
No, I wonder though.
Do a United States map.
What we're gonna do?
Well, I don't know. Tyler was looking at me like, "What map do you want?" I want a United States map.
Driving the back roads to the beach during the summer, aesthetically not the most awesome thing to do, especially coming back. But Pacific Northwest, I've never driven it, so I think it might be fun to do that. Like, I don't mind. I'm going to Knoxville next weekend. That's a fun drive with the foliage in October and everything changing.
See, first of all, I think Oregon's a bigger state than you think it is.
No, it's huge. That's what I'm saying. 4 hours seems like that's a lot closer. It should be bigger.
I don't know. Where is Eugene? Show me Eugene.
It's going to be south of Portland.
Keep going south. Keep going. Okay, there's Eugene. That's about like Tennessee. Knoxville to...
Thank you for the quick pictures there, Tyler.
Looks like a beautiful
interactive map.
So first of all, you fly to Portland. That looks like an hour drive out of Portland. Am I wrong, you think? That's about an hour, right? No, that's not that bad a drive. It looks like it'd be a pretty drive, too.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that.
It's too mountainous over on the coast, right, to do what we do down in Southern California, right, to be driving right in the ocean? Do they have an ocean?
It looks like there's a road right there.
It's got to be. Lincoln City's got to get to Astoria.
4.5 hour drive. It's 282.5 miles.
Yeah. That's about like going to Knoxville with bad traffic. You hit Chattanooga at the wrong time. You can sit still for a while.
You can, but now go to the other side of the map. Show me Knoxville to Birmingham.
Right,
my point here is it's going to look a lot closer over here.
I really don't think it does.
Is it not?
I don't...
Connor's watching this from Briarwood High School. It's like, you guys really are this confused about maps.
I mean, that looks about the same to me. I don't know. I mean, now Tyler, the zooming and all that is different, but the only difference is you drive through Chattanooga instead of driving through Vancouver.
Yep, you got Chattanooga,
Vancouver, Washington,
Portland,
not Canada. I know the difference.
Google Maps has Knoxville to Birmingham at 3 hours and 50 minutes, or 257.2 miles.
So it's a little bit longer.
Just a little bit.
Nah, let me tell you, Chattanooga, the worst traffic
terrible.
for a town that size I've ever seen.
So and it doesn't matter the time of day.
It really doesn't. You can go through Chattanooga at 2 in the morning and sit still.
It's a 2-lane mountain road at that point.
It's
2 lane on
awful.
each side.
Awful.
All right, we'll do 4 downs after I remind you our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Not just weight loss, but also an opportunity to control blood pressure and cholesterol. Go to this website. It's on your screen as you watch us across America right now, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. An opportunity to change careers, too, right now with Leslie and her board-certified teams. She's expanding. Business so good, she's expanding. And she wants some new dietitians and some other board-certified people on her staff. You can find out if you qualify for that by going to aplanforme.com, and checking out careers there. When it comes to weight loss, it's your journey to healthy living. No contracts, no sign-up fee, and every plan is designed specifically for you. Check it out, aplanforme.com. It's Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. And also by our friends at Slice. They bring you 4 downs every day, LT.
Yeah, 5 great locations. The original Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, newest location right there in Edgewood. Get into the Bajalia Brothers lunch or dinner. Local pizza, local ingredients from the Hot Mama to the Bajalia Special. You're going to love it. For more information, go to slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
More total touchdowns Saturday. Quinn Ewers against Oklahoma or Jalen Milroe against South Carolina?
Look, I was wrong about Alabama last week. I said Alabama would not have a letdown. I would qualify that as a letdown. I don't know about you guys.
Lost to Vandy?
Yes.
Of historic proportions.
Yes. I could not have been more wrong about that. This feels like the get-right game, though, this week, right? I mean, does it feel like a get-right game for you guys?
It does, but I don't know what a get-right game looks like now.
Yeah, well, to me, a get-right game means Milroe goes, you know what, on South Carolina. And Oklahoma's defense is good enough, I think, to give Quinn Ewers some issues. So I'll go Milroe in this one.
I'm going to go Milroe only because of the Venables factor in this one. Nothing, that Jalen has done, 5 touchdowns or 5 scoring drives and 9 possessions last week. He's been fantastic, but to me, Ewers having to do it against a Brent Venables defense in that rivalry setting, I'm going to go more with Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, I'm going to go Milroe as well.
Second down.
Maybe more difficult to answer, especially with how underutilized the running backs have been. Mentioned that Jam Miller and Justice Haynes were getting a combined less than 15 rushes per game going in to Vanderbilt. They got 11 combined rushes against Vanderbilt. But when you throw in Milroe, obviously the numbers are a little more magnified. But if I asked you more total rushing yards Saturday, Alabama against South Carolina or Ashton Genty against Hawaii?
I'm going to go Ashton Genty here. You know this because you look at the odds all the time. He was minus 130 to have over 3 touchdowns last week, 3 touchdowns or more. At minus 130. So that was his betting favorite against Utah State, right?
Yeah,
to have 3 touchdowns or more.
Yeah, the problem, Spencer Danielson now has sat him in 2 full halves. He sat the second half last week against Utah State. He sat the second half earlier this year against Portland State. And in 5 games, he still got over 1,000 yards. He is averaging over 200 rushing yards at 11 yards a clip.
Yeah.
This guy's been incredible. And now he's going against a Hawaii defense that if Spencer Danielson wants to leave him in and go 350, I think he could do it.
He's getting 11 yards a clip, and he's not even averaging 20 carries a game, which is insane.
That's the thing. If you gave him those other 2 halves,
I know.
That's probably another 250 yards and probably another 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Do you guys forget running backs? I mean, only a handful of that has done that. The last time a non-power conference player has won the Heisman, which is what Genty, who's now the betting favorite.
It's got to be a BYU
was
player.
Was it a Detmer?
It was 1990. I haven't looked at who it was, but I think it was a Detmer.
Yeah.
1990.
Yeah. Well, I mean, right now, Genty, Travis Hunter, Cam Ward, Milroe's a little off the radar now based on last week, but those have got to be your top 3. And I think Travis Hunter would win it right now because they're 4-1.
Yeah.
We'll see how this thing shakes out. If they lose games.
And he's unique because he plays both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and he's in a power conference. I mean, all those things help him. There's no doubt.
And there's a microscope because of Dion.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of advantages over Genty that will help him if he continues to
but
play
the
at this
difference,
level.
Genty and Boise, they're going to continue to win.
I agree, and I
Yeah.
think Colorado, the losses will come. We always say that about Colorado. They're 4-1, which is way better than I thought they were.
Yeah, we'll see Saturday.
Yeah.
Boise's on CBS Sports Network. It's ESPN this week
That's
for
right.
Travis.
That hurts. There's no doubt.
Yeah, and it's kind of, if you're a night owl and you can stay up that late, it'll be kind of you'll get the whole fourth quarter, maybe a good portion of the second half. I think most eyes are going to be on Kansas State and Colorado at 9:15. But if it ends up being one of those games that maybe gets away from Colorado and or Kansas State, then maybe people switch over and they watch Ashton Genty.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing that hurts Ashton Genty is just going to be the schedule moving forward. They're going to be less and less watchable games, like you mentioned at Hawaii. They're at UNLV, which is actually a pretty good game, and it's a Friday night game. That helps him. Big stage.
National stage, yeah.
CBS Sports Network still, though.
But
And it's
still.
a 9:30 Central kick, 10:30 Eastern kick. But after that, San Diego State, Nevada, at San Jose, at Wyoming, Oregon State. You're just not going to see a lot of those games.
Third down.
George Kittle, 31 years old today. Better career, George Kittle or Boy George?
Was Boy George in a band before he was a solo
Culture
artist?
Club.
Yeah, Culture Club. I don't
Karma
know.
Chameleon, was that-
That does not help my answer at all.
No, I think Boy George, I think the get up for a while was kind of like Mike Elko's. Can you pull a Boy George? I think it was more of the oversized kind of dress.
Yeah, I think he did have almost like parachute pants, but they were
he
or
legit
MC
wore a
Hammer
dress,
pants.
yeah.
No, it was like a big black dress or it was just everything was oversized, I think.
Karma Chameleon, was that Culture Club or Boy George solo?
Culture Club.
Culture Club?
I think most of his stuff outside of like the Crying Game. Now that was a dude, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, he's got a beard.
I just don't know if it's an if-win. I got no idea.
Yeah.
He had a good career, and I guess he's still alive. Is Boy George still alive?
That's a great question. I'll look it up.
I like George Michael better than Boy George in that period of time, I think.
Why
Same
are
period
you
of time.
grouping those two together?
Well, I like the remake of the song George Michael did.
Oh, I'm
Don't
just
let your
saying,
son.
There's like 1,000. There's 1,000 musical artists from that generation, and you just randomly group those two. I don't think you randomly group those two.
Now
together.
that's one of those like if you're on a New York subway, you think anybody's like, "Hey, are you Boy George?"
Wait a minute, that's Boy George now.
To the left,
he's bigger than Mike Elko.
He ate the Counting Crows.
But that is kind of how Elko wears his sweatshirt.
Yes. Are you sure that's Boy George Tyler?
Yeah, it said the article was Boy George, age 60, ditches the glam look.
Well, I think he kind of. I think the glam look ditched him.
Was it Time?
Yeah.
Was that one of his songs too? Time?
No.
Probably. I think
63. He's still with us. He's at 63. Boy George is.
Yeah,
George
I am
Allen
going
Odell.
to go. You know, George Kittle doesn't have a Super Bowl ring. I'm going to have to go Boy George until Kittle and the 49ers are able to bust through.
I'm going to go Kittle.
I think I'll go Kittle as well.
Fourth down.
Jay says he looks like a tow truck driver in that picture.
No, he does, really.
He really does look like a tow truck driver. I was
I'm sorry, it's
repossessing-
already on the hook. It's already on the hook.
John
Things
Lennon
he's probably said before.
would have been 84.
Who?
John Lennon.
There you go. Scott has such a good line in the MyBookie.ag chat room. People who say he looks like Limp Bizkit. And Scott says he looks more like Limp Bizquik. He does. He is Limp Bizquik.
Is that our Scott?
That is our Scott. Scott Forrester.
Hey, kind of hard to believe that John Lennon would have only been 84. It seems like he was killed forever ago. John Lennon or John F. K?
John F. Kennedy?
Yep.
Or John Lennon? That's
Better
a great
career?
question.
Yeah. They both taken out.
Yeah, both
untimely
killed by an assassin.
I mean, I'm just going to have to go like. Hopefully, the Kennedy assassination will be the last of a president we ever see.
I would agree with that. I hope that's the case.
So, I mean, that's going to be iconic and immortalized and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. There's something, John Lennon and the Beatles music, that's never going to die, whether you like the Beatles or not. I think everybody respects them.
But his solo song, Imagine, right? That's
Yeah.
solo, not even with the Beatles. That's that's one forever, right? That's one of those that they'll talk about 50 years from now.
Yeah, but
there'll still be wars.
Obviously, more so about the collaboration with the other Beatles. But I think I would go John Lennon.
What's the old boy? What's the old boy's name that killed him? Do you remember?
I can't remember. I remember they first announced before Twitter was Monday Night Football and Howard Cosell.
Yeah, broke in during the game.
But that's
not Thomas Hinckley.
Chapman.
Huh?
Mark David Chapman.
Mark David Chapman, that's right. I knew
Thomas
that was-
Hinckley was the one that
names.
tried to murder Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, John Hinckley, yeah.
John Hinckley, yeah.
That was completely irrelevant to my answer. I was just curious. I could not remember the old boy's name that killed him. I do believe he killed Lennon. I do not believe that Lee Harvey Oswald. Boy, if you got 3 names, you might actually be an assassin. I've never really thought of that. Now, John Hinckley was John Hinckley Jr., right?
James Earl Ray.
James Earl Ray.
John Parker Wilson, our buddy John Parker Wilson. Why are you going to go 3 names?
No, I'm
here?
just saying 3 names.
John Wilkes Booth.
John Wilkes Booth. Just think how often.
Emily Grace McWhorter. I mean, what are you doing here?
No, and don't start dragging JPW and EG in this. I'm
you
just
said
saying.
if you've got 3 names, you may be a serial killer.
Think not
I think
serial
EG
killer, assassin.
EG may be more apt to take somebody out than JP.
Well, Jim
Wow.
was almost EG's victim the other day.
Yeah, that's
after
true, EG.
playing
Oh, I've seen the
Braves.
EG
Yes.
look.
Yeah, it's a bad
She
look.
gave it to you
Yeah.
when you jinxed the Braves.
Yeah, icicles. I'm going to say John Lennon had a better career than John F. Kennedy.
I think so too.
Yep.
I'll go John Lennon too. I'm a huge JFK fan though, but I'll go John Lennon.
Really?
Are you really a big
Yeah,
JFK?
I did like him. Yeah, I wasn't around.
Did
for
you-
him.
I took you
But-
on the tour of where he was shot. Do you believe that it was an assassin's
I
bullet?
hate this debate. I don't care. We lost him. Yeah,
Okay.
let's move on.
Yeah, zero chance. Bro.
No chance whatsoever.
I mean,
You saw it with your own eyes, Lance.
I did.
I mean, we've debated that now 5 times this year.
Yeah, no chance.
Because we went to Dallas.
I know.
That is our 4 downs brought to you by our friends at Slice.
Yeah, stop at one of those great locations. Pick up a slice and a salad for lunch. Pick up a couple of pies on your way home. Be the hero. 5 locations. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
Okay, you guys PJ Fleck fans, right?
Nope.
I'm not.
No,
I hated the way he coached the end of that game Saturday.
I
too.
thought somebody was a PJ Fleck fan.
No,
up
I
here.
think PJ Fleck's a good coach.
Okay.
I do. That's a really, really difficult job. I thought Brown was texting me during the end of that made no sense what he was doing there.
Why would you not kick there? It was. I mean, did you watch it? Did you see what
I
happened?
did not see
All
the
right,
end
so
of the
they've
game,
got
no.
third
And
and
by
goal.
the way,
I
it
know what you're
shouldn't have
talking
gotten
about.
overturned. It should have gone to overtime.
Third and goal from the 1.
More on that in a second.
They
yeah.
try to run it up the middle, get completely stoned. That one did not go to review, right? The third and goal.
No, the third and goal did not.
It didn't go to review. He wasn't even close enough, Jim, to get it to review. Almost any close play on the goal line goes to review. You know this, right?
Yep.
Doesn't even go to review. So they call timeout, or USC called timeout, right? To save clock. And he runs almost the same play again, and it's got to go to review. And I'm with Lance. I didn't see anything in the review that was like slam dunk.
Not just you guys. Lincoln Riley yesterday saying that Senate called the Big Ten, and I still today, no way that can be overturned, is Lincoln Riley yesterday. So not afraid to be fined or questioned about Big Ten officiating. He still doesn't understand how that was overturned.
I don't either. I was watching the game. It should have gone to overtime, but it should have never gone to overtime because the play there, after you've been stoned on third and goal from the 1, and as bad as USC's offense had been in that game, which they'd only scored 17 points to that point, as bad as they've been, why you don't kick the field goal, take the points, and rely on your defense, I'll never know. But he didn't.
PJ Fleck, coming off the Michigan loss, to get his guys ready for the battle with USC, passed out capsules for everyone in the locker room to take, antidotes, if you will.
Oh, this is so cheesy.
Coach PJ Fleck said on KFan 100.3, he said he showed the players, or on that show, he gave the players a antidote of confidence last Wednesday after their tough Michigan loss. The players drank the capsules, which contained Sprite, great Coke product, and then upset USC on Saturday.
This feels like Jim Jones.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You know, he is such a culty-looking guy. Like, I would have been like, I've done this before, just throw it over the shoulder.
Thanks, Coach.
Rose a boat.
Yeah.
Is that not hokey?
Yes.
Oh,
I mean, look.
I don't think you have to ask.
And I've said this. I think he's a good coach, but if he's not your coach, you cannot. Like, there's no fan base that's like, damn, I want PJ Fleck.
Yeah.
What's the point spread in this game? This might be my pick 3.
It's UCLA at home plus 5.5.
UCLA's been a covering machine lately.
Yeah, and somebody's upset alert. Who was it, Brownie?
That was yours, Jim.
Yeah.
I'm starting to like it more. If you're having to do hokey stuff like that, I think I kind of like UCLA because I think the rest of the team's like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, no capsules this week, Coach?
Yeah, that's what a dumb thing to do.
Yeah, come on, UCLA. All right. When we come back, we'll get to our sneaky good games and a lot more coming up. LT's hair looking fantastic under the merch today. You can get Next Round merch at nextround.store. Nextround.store. You can get that hat and other hats. Like do I have a hat on today?
You do, Jim. It's a TNR hat. Yeah. Did you have to add? You didn't know what hat you had.
Well, I knew I had a hat on, Brown.
Just didn't know what you
I'm
had
not
on.
that far gone yet, but I didn't know what logo was on it.
Not time for the headgear yet, Coach. Just sit there.
But Dr. B has LT's hair looking fantastic.
Yeah, we're going to be out at Dr. B's location there at St. Vincent's next Thursday. We'll give you guys more information on that. But Dr. B helping guys all over the place with the thinning hair. If you want to be preemptive, if you want to maintain what you've got, you need to get in. See our friend Dr. B. Call to schedule the consultation today, 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316. Dr. B offers Sensus Transdermal Infuser. This enables Dr. B to get various medicines and therapies into the scalp where the hair follicles are without using any injections. This is revolutionary as Dr. B can pinpoint delivery of a patient's genetically specific products without any needles. T3hair.net. Call 205-319-0316. Again, I'm doing the non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. My hair has more than doubled in thickness. T3hair.net.
Auburn on a bye week, but if you're heading to Tuscaloosa and want to throw away all the gear that you wore last week in the loss at Vandy, if you're a little stitious, South Carolina, Alabama, 11 a.m. start. Go by the pants store and get that unbelievable new Alabama gear right now.
I'd start clean if I was a Bama fan. I'd just get rid of it and fill up at the pants store, wouldn't you?
100%. And you don't have to drive all the way to these locations. They can ship it to you, pantsstore.com, pantsstore.com, anywhere in the country. But they do have a couple of locations in Birmingham, the original in Leeds, one in Huntsville, one in Auburn, and one in Tuscaloosa. You Auburn fans want to go ahead and buy in the bye week to get continue your road trip in October, you can do that as well with the polos and the hats and the quarter zips from Horn Legend, Cutter Buck, Antigua, Gentile, and all the rompers and dresses for the ladies. Free alterations, free gift wrapping, and nothing says Roll Tide and War Eagle like the Pants Store, pantsstore.com.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Hey, you feel that? That's fall in the air. And New Balance Birmingham got your fresh fall pair to kick it during game time and sport from the sideline. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280 right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the Next Round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. And MLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
This hour of the Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Happy football season. At the Next Round, we strive to make our loyal listeners feel like they're a part of the action all season long. My name is Emily Grace McWhorter, and I do that by bringing you along for any given Saturday in Auburn or Tuscaloosa. From pregame warm-ups, touchdowns that make you feel a part of the play, and everything in between, our goal is to make you feel like you're inside Bryant-Denny or Jordan-Hare. Follow along on our social media at Next Round Live on Instagram, X, and Facebook. Also, check out thebarnauburn.com and covercrimson.com while you're at it. Here's to fall Saturdays.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
The Next Round rolls on. Football tonight, as we talked earlier, 6:30 ESPN2, New Mexico State in Jacksonville to play Jack State. 58.5 the total, minus 20.5. Jack State a heavy favorite in that one at mybookie.ag. Last night, Liberty a winner, 31-24. 4 baseball games today. Elimination games tonight in the National League, all on FS1. The American League plays their game 3s today. All on TBS. Baseball starts at 2 o'clock on those channels there. Kobe Young's attorney, the wide receiver for Georgia after his arrest for domestic violence and assault on an unborn child, said he never made physical contact that would rise to the level of a crime. He will be exonerated. That from the attorney.
Well, I was talking to a Georgia fan yesterday, and the story they heard, and who knows, but this is why you've got to be quick or be slow to rush to judgment. Let's just imagine that his girlfriend who is pregnant finds something on his phone, wakes him up in the middle of the night, wants to question him, and he's like, get out of my room, get out of my room. Maybe there's even, maybe some contact, but not
grabbing
contact.
above the bicep, I don't think anybody denies that to try to pull her out of the room.
She's going nuts. She calls the cops. Once the cops are called, somebody's going to jail. And, maybe this thing just accelerated like that. I'm just saying there could be another side to it. When you see the assault of an unborn child, it looks absolutely awful.
Horrific. I mean, I think anybody with a soul looks at that and they cringe.
And what's going to be bad is on the other side, if it comes out, this was something like I just possibly described.
Well, he's been suspended indefinitely today. Kirby Smart, I believe, announced that on the teleconference. So Kirby is going to keep him off the field as this plays out.
I think you have to,
well, especially in Georgia,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's why you're saying you have to, because it's a Georgia
and
player.
it's Mississippi State.
Yeah, but that is a good point. That is a minus 33.5 Georgia favorite. But you do keep him off and let the legal proceedings run its course, and you get a true story here pretty soon.
You wonder if this was the game in Austin next week.
The game in Austin is next week. Sometimes the legal wheels go slow. We'll see what Kirby ends up doing. Hydra Live gets you ready for another big game weekend. They'll be up here on Friday, LT?
They will be up on Friday, so I've got to get the number of bags, whoever wants one of those, B12 shots, that kind of stuff. But it is B12 injections, IV therapy, cryotherapy, compression therapy, now weight loss therapy, all under one roof. Mention Next Round, you're going to get 20% off all of those great services. Hydra Live combines hydration therapy with a targeted weight loss treatment. They provide a comprehensive approach to weight management. You can book your appointment online at hydralifetherapy.com. Walk-ins are welcome. Very important. Mention the Next Round again, 20% off all the great services. Ask about memberships. Memberships, they do have their privileges. You basically recoup the membership in one visit with the free IV. per month. IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy. For more information, hydrolifetherapy.com.
Everyone in the chat room talking about Mike Shula as an offensive analyst at South Carolina. Will this be his first time back in Tuscaloosa? Is he an analyst that travels?
I don't know because, speaking of Georgia, Will Muschamp, because his son plays at Vanderbilt, is basically an analyst Monday through Friday, and Kirby allows him to go to the Vanderbilt games. He doesn't even go to the Georgia games.
That's right. He works Sunday through Friday for the football program.
That's right.
Saturday, he's a dad.
Yeah, so I don't know if Shula travels. Even if he does, I don't know if he would in this case. I mean, do you think he could go to Shane Beamer and hey, can I sit this one out?
Yeah, I can't remember a time Mike's been back to
I don't think he has, from what I've heard.
But, boy, if you were going to come back, now's a good time to come back this week because nobody would really be blaming you for anything.
Do you wonder?
They'd all be talking about Kane Wommack.
Felt like you were back already.
That's one of the reasons you hate for a guy in Mike Shula's situation to take that job because of his love for the university. Where do you think he is now? Because you could kind of equate this to a marriage. Like most
100%.
marriages are really bad at the end, but time does heal a lot of wounds. And once you move away from the situation, then you can get some of those feelings back, and all parties can be okay.
I'm sure Don Shula appeared very bitter at the way it played out.
Well, Dad's going to protect.
Yeah, absolutely. And which, by the way, I did not know you had a Shula as your defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Is that David's son?
It's David's son.
Okay.
And it has been a disaster in year one for Chris Shula.
So not good, right?
Yeah, so just a real quick background, it always comes back to the Rams. Chris Shula and Sean McVay played together at Miami, Ohio.
Okay.
And so he gave him a job, and he's worked his way up. And so this is much deserved, but the defense has been a train wreck.
So I was watching the game Sunday, and the announcer...
He's got Don's ring. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. That was pretty cool. Jim Nantz was like offensive coordinator Chris Shula, and I was like, did he say Shula? And then Nantz came back and was like, of course, this is the grandson of the great Don Shula. I did not know that. But anyway, I mean, Mike's bitter, but at some point you probably have to... I shouldn't say Mike's bitter. It appeared the family was bitter. But at some point, can you step back and say, I mean, they did go get Nick Saban. That was not a bad idea on their part.
I remember when it was happening, saying on the air that Mike Shula, this is why you are hesitant to take these kind of jobs like you're talking about. Beloved for his time as quarterback, some great memories as quarterback at Alabama, and then it only goes two ways. Either you win like Kirby Smart's wanted at his alma mater, or you end up getting fired.
Yeah.
Right?
No, you're absolutely right.
It's rarely in between, and it ends up being just Ray Goff.
I was about to say Ray Goff. I don't even know. He got some Zaxby's. He owns some Zaxby's franchises. I think he was in very early on Zaxby's. So I'm sure he's doing just fine. But I don't know. Does he go to Georgia games? Do they applaud for Ray Goff if they honor a team or something?
Do they get Zaxby boxes after the game to take back on the bus? I don't know. I don't know either. Let's get to Sneaky Good Game. We do it every week. It's brought to you by McCurry Car, Van, and Truck Rental. Brownie's going to tell you about McCurry right after Tyler hits the big button.
The College Football Spotlight.
This weekend's Sneaky Good Game.
If you need a car, van, or truck, you rent from McCurry. McCurry Van and Car Rental is the local rental company you can depend on. They've got all kinds of vehicles to choose from. That includes trucks, SUVs, and passenger vans. Easy to rent. They get you in and out fast. Locations in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, 2nd Avenue Northwest in Coleman, and Skyland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa. Reserve your rental today, 256-559-1003, McCurryRentals.com. That's 256-559-1003 or McCurryRentals.com. We draw a lot of logos. Sometimes we do this one, sometimes we don't. We always do it on the upset alert. I've drawn today the best college football team logo I've ever drawn.
Oh, wow.
Usually,
best one I've ever drawn.
The best one I remember you ever drawing was...
This one is spot on.
It may have been the Wyoming Cowboys.
Okay.
It was the best one you ever draw.
Right.
You were good with the SMU Mustang one time,
I've got two. One of them is pretty bad, and the other one is absolutely spot on, the best one I've ever drawn.
I find a hard time. It's hard for me to draw. There's one team that uses a bulldog as a head. It's hard to draw.
Well, I've got that, and it is hard to draw.
Oh, you do have that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
We may have the same game.
Oh, I don't have it. I didn't draw logos on this one.
Okay.
Who do you
know
have?
mine?
Yeah.
I got Fresno State at Washington State. That Washington State logo is a spot-on match. Would you agree, Lance?
No, it's and I did Fresno last year, and I thought my Bulldog was really good because I did the Bulldog where you got the full body under him.
Yeah, it's a tough Bulldog
But
face.
yeah, the Cougar logo is
that's
definitely
as good
spot
as
on.
I've ever done a college football
disagree,
logo.
Brown. I think you've had Washington State as an upset alert this year.
Have I?
And I think it was better than that one.
Really?
I'll have to go check.
Man, that's a good Washington State logo right there. That is a spot-on match. After I drew it, I was like, Man, I did a pretty good job of that one.
Tyler, can you pull up the Washington State logo for me?
Yeah,
Let's be the
please. I mean,
judge.
compare.
Your W seems a little out of whack. For
Okay,
me.
I knew Jim would find fault in it.
Well, I'm just saying, you're saying it's the best, and I'm telling you, you have done better with the Washington State logo this year, I believe.
Jim will tell you, I was in here early drawing this before the show, and I laughed when I looked where the game was. Every single week, I give you a sneaky good
So
game.
you pick the game and you have no idea.
I have no idea what network it's on. You know how I pick the game, Lance?
Okay, I apologize. That W is whacked up in the real logo, too.
Oh, thank you very much.
That is,
yeah, man, I think
that
it's
is pretty
dead on.
close.
Yeah, thank you.
It's
That's
actually
as good as I could do.
It is actually now the little bottom jaw that's a little more pointy at the end. But other than that, I mean, it's a 9.9 out of 10. That is really good. Obviously, we don't have that color crimson, but that is
we don't.
really
No,
good.
yeah, the color is off a little bit.
Maybe
but
it was LT. One of you drew that logo this year, and it was fantastic.
I drew it this year, and it was not nearly that good.
No, I don't look at the network.
We need to keep our pictures.
I go to my.
I may have it. LT.
I go to mybookie.ag and I find close point spreads of games that we haven't really talked a whole lot about. That's the way I pick my sneaky good game, Lance.
Yeah.
And I look on the sheet, and every single week I've picked you an FS1 game. I do not know why this happens, but every week my sneaky good game is on FS1. It is again this week, 6 o'clock FS1, Fresno at Washington
Okay,
State.
mine is going to be a 2:30 game. I did
Wait a
not
second.
draw it.
Is that what you drew for Washington State earlier this year?
No, I drew that. Do you remember Lance was out and he sent us his pick?
Was it Washington
Yeah,
State?
and it was Washington State, so I just randomly
Yeah,
took
I had a Washington State T-shirt on because I zoomed with you guys.
That's right.
and just showed you the T.
That was when you were battling through diverticulitis. Is that better? Seems like it.
Yeah, I've been eating a lot. I've been doing a lot of gut health and eating a lot cleaner.
Have you noticed
So it
a-
is better.
Way
Yeah.
to mention
okay.
it, Brown. Way
What?
to jinx it.
No, I want Lance to be better. I mean, he brought it up on the show. I think
it
the
just
audience
depends. You know, last week I ate a really good chicken sandwich in town and it had some sesame seed.
Oh, I got you.
And it put me down pretty good.
What have you had to cut out?
I'm trying to watch seeds a lot.
Strawberries, tomatoes.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah. But I had some jalapenos yesterday.
Which has seeds.
Which has seeds.
Yeah, that's the best part of
It's
it.
really difficult to eat. Clean.
Yeah,
you end up going, man, that has seeds. I never thought about the seeds in a strawberry.
Yeah.
So we're going to see one of the more mentally tough teams, or how tough they can actually be under Justin Wilcox. They got their hearts ripped out, up 25. Now Cal comes all the way back to the East Coast.
Of course.
And they play Pittsburgh, 2:30, an undefeated Pittsburgh Panthers team. Eli Holstein has gone 3+ touchdowns passing in all 5 games. But Cal, maybe the best defense Pittsburgh has seen. You know, you wonder if Cal just starts to own the fact that, man, we are traveling fools. And let's shake this. They seem like a team that is prepared to shake off a 25-point lead as much as anyone. I don't know why. I think Cal's going to come back, and I think they're going to play Pitt close and maybe give Pitt their first loss of the season.
What was that old song, No Sleep Till Brooklyn?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That seems like a song that
Cal has to play.
That you would be like playing a lot if you were traveling a lot.
There's no sleep till December. They travel all the time. What do you think Eli Holstein? I did not realize Eli Holstein was a freshman in eligibility.
That's crazy.
Jim, you said it.
All the years.
Narduzzi had talked and bitched and complained once Jordan Addison won the
That's
Biletnikoff.
right. Yep.
USC goes and plucks him, pays him 7 figures. Jordan Addison really didn't do anything for the Trojans. Narduzzi was very vocal about teams, them not being able to match some of these collectives. This is a guy that he's probably going to lose.
That's what I was about to ask you now. If I've done my math right, he's NFL eligible after next season. If he tears it up again, he could go to the draft after his sophomore year because he's 3 years out of high school.
I do think Narduzzi. Don't you think there's got to be somebody in the collective that's like, we've got to pay to keep this kid at least one more year. And if you're Narduzzi, you can sell him, hey, we had Kenny Pickett drafted in the first round. I know Kenny Pickett's doing nothing right now, but hey, if you want to come back, Heisman finalist, win 11 games, win an ACC championship, and get drafted in the first round, I had a quarterback do that 5 years ago.
The way he has played this year, he could name his price in the portal next year. I mean, think about the teams Eli Holstein. Would Oklahoma be better with him?
Yes.
100%. Would Auburn be better with him? 100%.
Now, let me ask you guys this.
And truthfully, Pitt hasn't really played the toughest of opponents yet.
No,
right?
that's what I'm saying. This will be their best defense they've played.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say. If you're representing Eli Holstein, do you get out in front of this and you have a deal already done for next year?
Announced tonight.
Yeah, based
Before
on
you
the
face
fact,
his Cal?
yeah, this thing completely crashes in.
Eli has already signed his NIL. He's coming back to Pitt next year.
Well, because I agree with Brown. I think you could get a lot of money right now if you're Eli. But if, he starts to struggle down the stretch, I mean, it just does this. It can do this.
Yeah.
But right now where you are, you can make good money. You just don't want it to go the other way.
15 touchdowns, 3 picks. He's averaging 313 a game.
Yep.
65% completion percentage. As a freshman, he's been fantastic.
Yeah, so Eli Holstein in that game for him. My Sneaky Good Game brought to you by McCurry. It's 7 o'clock Fox. It's a main network, so it's not that sneaky. You can find it because it's like over the air. But Iowa State at West Virginia. How good's Iowa State right now, LT? They keep creeping up the polls. Number 11, tricky game in Morgantown. Makes it a fun atmosphere.
Now, let's not forget, Cyclones were down double digits to Iowa. You give them credit because they came back and won that game, but that was by far the best team they've played. Now, through 5 games, Rocco Becht has been really good at the quarterback position. They're only allowing 10 points per game defensively, so the defense is good. Your quarterback plays good, and Matt Campbell is still an underrated coach. I do like where you are there. I think that's going to be a really tough environment for Iowa State. I think West Virginia probably wins this game in prime time.
They are tied at the top of the Big 12. If you have not paid attention to the Big 12. Now, they're not the only ones. There's a lot of teams that still don't have a loss in the Big 12.
Because West Virginia's losses were to Penn State, Big 10, Pitt, ACC.
That is correct.
Rivalry game losses, but still not impacting the
That's
conference.
right, not conference losses.
Yeah.
But Colorado also is 2-0. BYU also is 2-0. And Texas Tech, surprisingly, is 3-0 at the top of the Big 12.
Notre Dame is behind Iowa State in the rankings. Notre Dame, Iowa State, neutral field. Who do you take?
Notre Dame.
Me too.
Well, I don't know if I mean, that's
LSU.
It's a good game.
It's a good LSU, game. Iowa State, neutral
LSU.
field. Me too.
LSU.
BYU's behind them. Neutral field.
I like Iowa State.
Okay, there you go.
Over BYU, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Texas A&M, you'd go A&M.
A&M right now.
These are all good games, though.
Yeah, Utah, Iowa State.
Who do I get at quarterback?
Yeah,
Isaac Wilson or Cam Rising?
Yeah.
I'm going to bet on Isaac Wilson based on history.
Finally, Cam Rising's name makes sense now. We ask every week, is he going to be available? Is he rising or not? Yeah.
Still dead, guys.
Boise State, Indiana.
By the way, I think national reporters, Salt Lake reporters are getting really, really pissed off about the situation.
Well, it's just become a laughingstock that Kyle Whittingham continues to play this game.
I mean, I don't know why you're just...
Do they have to do availability reports in the Big 12?
I think so.
I mean, what are they listing?
And I think they just list him as questionable every
that's his whole
week.
life. Yeah.
But I would love some transparency, and this is what is going on with Cam Rising. Because if I'm Cam Rising, like, we all maybe need to get on the same page because I want to play on Sundays. And, like, I don't know how any team could draft Cam Rising right now.
Not a chance. As much as he's been hurt in college, why would you?
And it seems like, it's going to sound bad, small issues. Like, not when he tore the ACLs, but I'm talking about, like, this finger issue that's been lingering for weeks. Like, come out. If it's broken and he can't grip a football, tell us that. Like, if I'm Cam Rising, I want more transparency because I don't want NFL teams to think I can't play with an injured finger.
And if it's a non-throwing hand, if it's his left hand, you're costing yourself millions of dollars. It's almost consider taking the digit off.
Yeah, I really don't know what's going on with Cam Rising.
I'm just saying, it's a millions of dollars decision there.
It's a bit extreme.
Our friends at Gray's, maybe I misstepped there. It's a little dead wood. I'll back that up a little bit. Gray's Tree Service to clean up your dead wood as well.
Family owned and operated for 25 years right here in Birmingham. Had the guys out a couple of months ago. They extracted 4 trees. Look, if you've got some pines that look dead, if you've got some trees that have already fallen, you need it ground down and taken off your property, our friends at Gray's, they can handle any job out there. Trusted by nearly every golf course in town. The Birmingham Zoo, there is no competition. Gray's maintains a fleet of specialized cranes and lifts to get the job done right. Prevent damage to your home. You've probably seen them rolling around town. Call 205-281-6100. Scan the QR code right there on screen or visit graystree.com.
And our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, you got to keep the roots system strong as well, too, LT. Off the dead trees there, UCA will do that. Over 35 urologists on hand, 16 locations across Alabama, treating all your urological needs from prostate health to kidney stones, vasectomies, anything you need there. Urology Centers, Alabama.com. 20s to 30s, 30s to 40s, guys, you want to stay on top of your health, you can find out more. 205-930-0920, 930-0920, Urology Centers, Alabama.com. Another Super League project introduced. It's called Project Rudy, named after the Notre Dame player.
I hate the name.
It's just a project. It wouldn't be named that. It involves 70 teams. The key here, they are promising a $9 billion infusion to those 70 teams. What does that break out to, LT? $9 billion divided by 70.
I'll do it.
In the infusion there. They have met with 30
over
power...
7 point something.
Yeah.
I'll do
some
it.
money.
Yeah.
The ADs, they met with 30 ADs of power schools. Sounds to me like a lot of ACC and Big 12 schools. But here's the key. It's
$128 million. That's a lot of money.
$128 million.
So how often do they get the $128 million?
Just one time infusion. it
Oh,
says
infusion,
yeah.
okay.
Investors include ex-Disney employees and who own Smash Capital. These are private equity guys, but the key here is ex-Disney employees who obviously know a little bit about ESPN and television contracts.
Know the contracts, yeah.
These folks would eliminate G5 and FCS games. Media rights would be under one umbrella, so the SEC wouldn't have a deal, the Big Ten wouldn't have a deal. It would all be one deal that they would do with multiple networks like the NFL does. They would be in charge of scheduling. They would expand the postseason, and they would have a tiered revenue distribution. Now, this comes announced yesterday on the same week now that all the ADs in the SEC and the Big Ten getting back together in Nashville for Wednesday and Thursday meetings. More likely we end up going with these new models controlled by private equity or big business, or eventually it's just the SEC and the Big Ten who become two super leagues and run college football.
I've always said this would be the model you would end up with. I didn't know private equity would do it. I still thought you would have the conference controls, but I've always thought the top 70 teams are going to pull off and do their own division anyway. There's just too much money to be made for them to not do that.
But you're telling me you think at some point we would, as the SEC and the Big Ten, give up our media rights?
No. I said I thought I said
Okay.
I thought the conferences would still control it.
But here's the problem. Like, there's still not going to be equality, really, because the SEC is going to have more money than the Big Ten.
Well, not if they...
So, like, you can't come up with a universal salary cap, right?
Well, in that system, it wouldn't necessarily be that way, Lance, because if you hand over your media rights to one person or one entity and they're doing the media rights, everybody gets the same amount. It'd be the NFL style.
It does say tiered distribution. It does say tiered distribution in their plan.
Yeah.
So the SEC and the Big Ten likely would be getting more like they're doing now, 60% of the postseason money now. I mean, we're going to change as we move forward. I don't know where private equity come in. I do hear Greg Sankey talk all the time. In all these plans that keep coming across my desk, nowhere do they mention education. Nowhere do they talk about kids going to class.
Well,
and it does seem like this is a bunch of business guys seeing an opportunity to jump in, pay small salaries to players, and basically create their own
semi-pro league,
their own pro football league.
It's not even semi-pro. It's just a lower tier pro under the NFL. It's an NFL feeder league. It's basically the NFL's minor league baseball.
Yeah,
but it's what it already is.
Probably more closely to Premier League soccer and the tier right below the Champions League, I think maybe is what that is.
I mean, nobody's got it better than the NFL. I mean,
Jim Harbaugh, but he's now in the NFL.
They let everybody else develop their players, and they go draft them and play them right away. You know, Major League Baseball, they got to draft them to pay somebody to develop them.
If I was the SEC, Brown, in the Big Ten, I'm not giving control to anybody.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Now, unless you show me a financial plan that you can guarantee me that is far beyond anything. Now, $128 million per school, Jim, that's a lot of money. That's a one-time infusion.
Yep.
If you could show me...
If I'm Greg Sankey, I'm sitting there at the door and I'm saying, you guys want that? Because this is football only. That's fine. You take every other sport and you go find you something else because we're going to run our own little league here.
It's going to be hard for them to give up the reins. There's no doubt.
Yeah. If I'm the SEC and the Big Ten, which is why these meetings every week now in Nashville, it seems like become important because more likely Petiti and Sankey are going to come up with a deal, the future of college football, not private equity and the ex-Disney employees.
Yes, because they're the power brokers and you don't give power up. It's generally taken away from you.
That's exactly right. Don't give it up. All right, top of the hour. When we come back, midterm grades. We've all got them for SEC teams. Who's got A's, B's, C's, D's, and F's? We'll get into that discussion coming up. The show being brought to you by our friends at Hemphill. Hemphill Services LT, heating and cooling. Today, a little warmer. It was 56 when I got in the truck.
Yeah, look, the temperature is going to be dropping. Got to make sure your heating is ready to keep up with it. Whether you experience any of these issues in your home or business, trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your issues. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train or hemphillservices.com.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemphill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemphill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
From the creators of The Next Round comes 2 new sites, covercrimson.com and thebarnauburn.com. 2 team sites with the same excitement and information-driven content that you get every day on The Next Round. Live daily shows, recorded shows, free of charge, plus premium content with insider information starting at just $1. And it's the perfect gift for the Alabama or Auburn fan in your family. Covercrimson.com or thebarnauburn.com. Sign up today.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
By now, you guys know how I feel about my fashion. However, did you know that I care about your fashion choices? Cargo shorts are out, flip-flops are only appropriate on the boat, and please throw away that stained t-shirt from college. You may be thinking, EG, that's all I own. What do I do? Here's what you do. Go to nextround.store and fill your cart with a wardrobe that is approved by me. Stock up on logo t-shirts, hoodies for football season, and hats for every day of the week. Trust me on this one and head over to nextround.store to get stocked up for this season.
Our friends at Milo's Hamburger invites you to join them in the fight against hunger in our local communities by bringing non-perishable food items to your local Milo's, including canned goods. When you donate a canned good or any non-perishable food item, Milo's will give you a free drink. Together, we can make a difference.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios. The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Final hour of the show today. We're about to get to our SEC midterms. Baseball continues today. Cleveland and Detroit starts us off at 2 o'clock TBS. Skubal not pitching for the Tigers, obviously. Pitched earlier in the series. But the Athletic with an interesting story. Did y'all like the movie Major League? The movie Major League?
Tom Berenger? Yeah, I like that movie.
What was it? Was it Serrano? Was that the big power hitter?
Yeah.
Dennis Haysbert. He plays the All-State guy. Was also in Heat, the the getaway driver.
What was the name of the doll he had in? Was it Jobu?
Jobu, right?
Jobu.
Yeah, Jobu, yeah.
Oh, here it is. Forsher has it.
Pedro Serrano was the greatest slugger of the 80s. Do not try to debate me on this. They say at the Super 70 Sports. There's Jobu there.
Could not hit a curveball, though.
He could not. The Skubal family loved that movie. Every year, Laura Skubal, the mom, would show the kids great baseball movies before the start of every season. And this is the great Cy Young likely winner's mom. And one year she got gifted a Jobu doll.
How about that?
Well, when Skubal started off his career with the Tigers, giving up 44 home runs in 39 games, she ended up digging that thing out of the attic and taping it under her mattress where it stays today.
Ooh, that feels like you're dealing with the dark magic at that point.
You're telling me Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?
Hard pass on that one.
Since then, Skubal's been unbelievable, though.
Yeah, mom's keeping that doll pinned down.
Yeah.
She said,
I don't care what her nightmares are.
I heard a Charlie Daniels song about this one. Sooner or later, he comes back.
She said, "Don't ask him about the Jobu doll." And then she proceeded to talk about the Jobu to the Athletic. Fun read there if you want to go catch it at the Athletic.
We were talking about this before the show, Lance. Did you know that it was legal to do what Machado did in the second inning, where you could basically run to the pitcher's mound just to block a throw to second? Did you know that was legal?
No,
I didn't either.
I've just never seen it.
Yeah. I mean, it was a smart play by Machado. Yeah. I assume he knew it was legal, the fact that he did it.
Yeah, the running path down the first base, you can't run to block a throw, obviously.
Right, but between second, third, and everywhere else you can. Huh?
I've never seen it like that at a big league level.
I mean, that play is so rare, but I thought it was just a smart move by Machado. If he actually knew the rules, or was he just hoping he got away with it?
It led to a big inning.
It sure did.
Yeah, big win for the Padres. Elimination day today if the Dodgers and the Phillies can't win road games. 4 o'clock for the Phillies Mets on FS1. Dodgers and Padres after that on FS1. 2 o'clock for Guardians and Tigers, and Yankees and Royals back in KC. 6 o'clock on TBS for baseball. As I said, football tonight over in Jacksonville, just down the road, New Mexico State and Jacksonville State, 6:30 on ESPN2. Later tonight, it's trivia night, LT.
It is. Odie's Team Trivia. Me and Brown will be out there. We get going a little after 8 o'clock. Get there early. Enjoy some great food from Rodney Davis. He's been doing it for 35-plus years. Award-winning wings, great burgers, incredible sandwiches, ice-cold beer buckets, full of the Bud Light. But join me and Will Haver, Ryan Brown tonight. Odie's Team Trivia, the original location in Crestline. Also a sister location now in Edgewood.
Before we get back to college football, in the NFL, they did name the Jets' replacement, Jeff, is it Ulbrich?
Yeah, they did not go with Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah, defensive coordinator they went. So defensive-minded head coach fired, and the defensive coordinator takes over who's never been a head coach. Word comes out, according to reports, the reason this all went down and Saleh had to be escorted from the building, he was talking about firing Nathaniel Hackett, who is the hand-picked coordinator for Aaron Rodgers,
which tells you Aaron Rodgers is right in the middle of all this, right?
Well, it tells you Aaron Rodgers has much more power than Robert Saleh.
But isn't it weird to you that they don't make Hackett the interim coach? Like, if Aaron Rodgers has that much power, and obviously Nathaniel Hackett is valuable enough that you fire your head coach to keep him, how do you not make Hackett the interim
I think
head
it's
coach?
a double message. I think what you've got from Woody Johnson, the owner, is telling Aaron Rodgers, we respect you, but you're not running our organization. Because I think if you put Hackett in that position, it makes it look like Rodgers was the one that not only wanted Saleh out, but he wanted that guy there. So you've got kind of a balance by bringing defensive coordinator up as the interim guy, getting rid of Saleh, and Hackett's still on staff, but he's not necessarily calling the shots.
I keep Aaron Rodgers somewhat happy.
Just happy enough.
But I don't give him all the power either,
but we used to
That's what I'm just guessing.
We used to make fun of Brown.
For me?
No, just follow me here. He was always the youngest guy who always knew all the old sayings, right?
That's right, yeah.
So if you're in the middle of the road, what's happening, Brown?
If I'm in the middle of the road, what?
If you're in the middle of the road, what's happening? You get hit by traffic going both ways.
Yeah, both ways. Yeah,
it's an old saying there. You don't remember old sayings now. You're too cool. You got all
I've
your
gotten younger as I go.
You are, man. You got all your young lingo now.
Yeah.
Why not just go all in on Aaron Rodgers, though? Well, I mean, what's the downside of that? You've gone all in on him as your old quarterback. Why not let Hackett run the whole team?
For this year, and I think Rodgers is only under contract through this year. I mean, Rodgers doesn't look like even close to a shell of himself from a couple of years ago, his last year in Green Bay. I would go all in.
Yeah.
Have I missed the Devontae Adams trade to New York? I mean, that hasn't happened.
Slowed down because of the controversy this week. The talks have slowed down. So I would have gone all in. I'd go all in. I'd go like Jordan with the Bulls. I'm like, dude, who do you want to coach? okay, this guy will be the coach.
And you go trade for Devontae Adams?
You want Devontae? Let's go. I mean, let's go all in. Buccaneers did it with Brady. They did it with Brady. Brady handpicked any free agent or anybody they could go trade and get. They got, and Brady had to sign off on it.
The difference is Tom Brady was obviously a generational guy that just didn't age.
Right.
The difference with Matt Stafford was still an elite quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is not an elite quarterback right now.
Yeah, that's I just wonder if they realize we have gotten old, broke down Aaron Rodgers.
I think they have, and they're like,
we just got to wait this out.
Yeah, this year we're not going to be able to do anything. I mean, this team is not going to be able to compete with Kansas City when the Texans are 100%, with Nico Collins, with Buffalo at their best, with Baltimore. They're just not going to be able to compete with those teams.
That's the thing. This division has turned out to be a little different than you thought. Like, Buffalo has not been at their best sometimes this year,
They were the first couple of weeks.
They were the first couple of weeks, but they were not Sunday against Houston.
And Miami's upside down.
Miami's upside down because they've lost their quarterback for 4 games. And, I mean, the Patriots are what you thought they were. I was just talking to Lance in the break. They've announced today they're going Drake May. So the future is now in New England. I mean, that's a very winnable division for the Jets had they played well.
Drake May in for Jacoby Brissett. They're 1-4 the Patriots. Look who's starting likely with New Orleans this week. Who had Spencer Rattler starting this early in his career. It looks like they will not go Jake Haener, who came in for Derek Carr Monday night.
Did not look good.
Spencer Rattler looks like he's going to be the starter for the Saints moving forward. Carr's out for several weeks with that oblique injury.
It is interesting that Haener was the guy that came in for the Saints this past weekend. I think Spencer Rattler probably does give you the better opportunity to win, but you were going to see a Kalen DeBoer quarterback getting a start. That would have been another first for Kalen DeBoer.
Okay, can we get ponchos for Brown and me, and a tight shot on LT as I read this next discussion that was going on today. I believe this was at CBSSports.com.
Okay,
a tight shot on LT, ponchos for Brownie and me, because just in case LT's head explodes. Does Taylor Swift being at the game impact the odds for the Kansas City Chiefs?
It's a trend and our angle.
For the record, she had missed, 3 consecutive games? I did have the Chiefs -5.5 on Sunday night.
And she showed up.
She showed up, or Monday night, I should say.
Yeah.
They not only get the win, they get their first double-digit win of the season. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
10-5-1 against the spread when Swift is in the house. But this comes up because Travis Kelce says, when I mention if she's coming to the game or not, I notice the line moves, the total moves, and my catches moves.
No.
So I'm not going to comment on when she's coming or not coming to games.
Nah, he's full of that. We'll remind us to bring that up with Furman.
It's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
They go on and ask a couple other Furman likes in Vegas. They say it absolutely does not impact at all the lines.
I believe they would know.
Nobody showing up as a fan in the National Football League will impact us how we do our job in Las Vegas.
This Kelce tribe. I've had enough of them. I was going through celebrity birthdays yesterday for 4 Downs today, and I've told you, the majority of the birthdays are YouTube, influencer, a bunch of people that I have never heard of. Well, Kelsey's mom, I forgot what her name is. It says
Donna, is that right?
Maybe Donna Kelsey, 71, 72. It just describes her as family member.
Yeah.
But she's in front of accomplished musicians.
What did you see?
Mama Kelsey is just what we call her.
I don't know if you are watching the Manning cast or the actual telecast. I don't know which one you are watching Monday night.
I split it up.
I bounce around.
I went over to Archie.
Eli is the most awkward person I have ever seen get that much screen time.
Really?
He's so awkward. He's more awkward than Dunaway.
It was good when Archie was on, though, because things I didn't know.
Right.
Archie Manning once, as a quarterback, wore the single face guard.
Yeah, like kickers used to wear it.
He and Joe Theismann were the only guys.
I remember Theismann wearing it.
And Eli said, "Dad, when did you stop using the single bar?" And he named some, I think it was a Ram defensive lineman, who put my nose over where my ear is, put where my nose was supposed to be, ended up where my ear is, and I decided I needed that second bar in my face.
I remember watching a game as a kid, and some kicker got roughed, and they show the kick, and they cut back to the kicker laying on the ground, and that bar is all the way up.
Yeah.
I mean, it had gotten popped.
Yeah.
But on the telecast, and it created, I know it's going to shock everybody, a controversy. They show Taylor Swift because she's in the booth below. She's in the suite below Troy and Joe Buck.
Yep.
And Troy one, refers to her as the Mrs.
Yeah, Troy does, yeah.
Troy calls her the Mrs.
Yep.
And Joe Buck has to come back and say, they're not married. And he goes, I know, I just messed that up.
Yeah.
And then there was this conspiracy that they've actually got married at a secret wedding.
Yeah, because everybody can keep secrets.
I know
right?
that Troy Aikman somehow was aware of it, but it hasn't leaked out yet, and he spilled the beans.
Yeah, but Troy is after his divorce has had a few misses, and maybe that's just what he's his pet name for his girls.
He's a Texas guy, right?
No,
Oklahoma guy.
I love
the missus.
I love the fact that they thought Troy knew, but it hasn't gotten out yet.
And I don't know, it was either Buck or Troy once said, my daughter warned me not to make jokes, and I like to make jokes on the air, not to make jokes about Taylor Swift because of the media outlash.
That's right, yeah.
That I would get from all of her fans. Funny. Okay, before we get to the midterms in college football here, and then trash, 5 worst New York Jet coaches all time back to the Saleh being fired from CBS.
Lou Holtz has got to be on this list.
Is Saleh in the top 5, do you think?
No. What'd you give his record? Was 20?
It's 20 and 36.
20 and 36.
He's third. According to CBS.
Well, I mean, he should be because he's got actually these Jets teams. I know he's been hamstrung at quarterback.
Yeah.
But these Jets teams have had some elite defenses.
Is Rich Kotite on there?
Don't get ahead of Jimmy's
I'm sorry, Jim. Go ahead.
Yeah, some of these names we'll probably forget.
I thought you were asking me.
Number 1 is Rich Kotite.
Is he on there?
4 and 28 in his career as the Jets.
I just remember him being awful. Obviously, I've watched more Jets football than I should because they're in the Dolphins division.
Nick Saban tie in next, I think. Adam Gase, wasn't he somehow tied to Saban?
Adam Gase was the Miami coach first, remember?
Yeah,
and then
he was kind of the quarterback guru, offensive coordinator for Peyton Manning for a while.
He was the Dolphins coach, got fired by the Dolphins, eventually took the Jets job. I think there was a year in between, and he had that. Don't you remember he had that weird opening press conference?
Yep.
Where his eyes were all bugged out, and he was just looking around.
9 and 23. Saleh is 20 and 36. Number 4, Lou Holtz.
Yeah, he was awful.
3 and 10. Didn't make it 1 year. Quit, and I think left to go coach Arkansas.
I believe you're right.
And then Pete Carroll. 1 season, 6 and 10.
He figured it out after that, though.
Yeah, Pete did figure it out after that.
Did he leave and go to USC after that, or did he go to New England next?
I think it was New England. I think New England was before USC. Saleh, though, you brought this up. He is going to be a hot commodity when it comes to defense coordinators in the offseason.
San Francisco was fantastic before DeMeco Ryans, but now DeMeco kept it really, really good, obviously.
You notice this track record, though. These are a lot of unproven coaches recently for Woody Johnson and the New York Jets. I'm going to go out and pay whatever I've got to pay.
Would you go get Belichick? He almost had that job.
I don't know.
He had that job for a minute, if you remember.
I mean, I would really take a look at an organization like the Rams and try to get Sean McVay to go West Coast to East Coast.
Do you think he would, though?
I don't know. Maybe. New challenge, new conference.
Complete unknown quarterback situation, though.
Yeah,
after
but
Aaron Rodgers.
if you tell him, hey, we're going to let you draft your quarterback.
Yeah, maybe let him build.
How long does Stafford have, do you think?
It depends on what Stafford wants. Like, Stafford battles injuries. His offensive lines have battled injuries. Now his best receivers year in, year out have battled injuries.
Yeah.
Is it all going to come together and he gets to play a full 17 with all these guys? He's already got his ring. He's already in the Hall of Fame.
So you're talking like he's close to retirement. Now, if he's close to retirement, I might consider this. I don't know.
Our show being brought to you by our friends at Champy's world famous fried chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. They bring you this hour of the show every day since day one, all 803 shows. That's Sterling right there. And that's his Southern fried chicken. It's brined overnight. What is brining, Brown?
Brining is when you allow the chicken generally in a liquid of sorts that has some herbs and spices in it, and you allow the chicken to sit in that liquid overnight so it absorbs some of that flavor. A lot of people do that with a turkey at Thanksgiving.
Juicy down to the bone,
yes,
I'm told.
Sir.
Cooked to order. And also the hand-cut chicken fingers, the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. All right, Little T has put together some graphics, and she asked us, guys, it's the midterms. Some people are at the halfway point, 6 games in. Some are about to be at the halfway point. So midterms for SEC teams. Letter grade, no A+, A-, just A, B, C, D, or F so far. We each gave our own rankings. Let's see how close we are. Doesn't matter to me, Forrester. Just pick somebody first. One of these graphics pop up. This is going to be mine.
All right.
I had 1A, Texas Longhorns. I have a few B's, Arkansas, Alabama, Tennessee. C's, I've got Oklahoma, Kentucky, and South Carolina. Oh, I see more B's over there. My bad. I see how the graphics work. I thought I had a lot more B's than that. Texas are A's. A&M, Arkansas, Georgia, Alabama, Vandy, and Tennessee, all B's, grading on the curve. Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Missouri, Kentucky, LSU, South Carolina's are the C's. Florida's a D. Auburn's a D. Mississippi State's an F.
How do you not give Auburn an F? What gets them a D? They are 2-3.
They are 2-3.
Yeah,
and they're 0-3 in conference.
I was going to say I graded harder than you, but I don't have any Fs, I don't think.
Okay.
I had 2 Fs.
Just a second to yours, real quickly
Okay.
on me. Ole Miss is a C. Missouri's a C because of expectations. Oklahoma's a C because of results. Vandy's a B from results. Could be an A if they hadn't lost to Georgia State.
So Oklahoma gets a C from you on 1 loss? They've only lost to Tennessee.
They do. 1 loss. They
Boy,
should have
you're
lost the
tough.
Auburn game. Should have lost the Auburn
Well,
game.
but they won it.
They did. They were helped out. Let's go to Lance's.
So they should have lost.
So I've got Texas A and Vanderbilt an A.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know how Vanderbilt can't beat it.
Well,
I know you had
they
the
lost
Georgia
to Georgia
State loss,
State.
but I still have 2 wins that weren't even possible before the season started. So Vanderbilt having their first win in 60 years over a top 5 and beating the number 1 team in the nation, got to be an A to me.
I don't hate that. And you do great on curves. You know, one A isn't equal to another A because of what the expectations were for Vandy.
Yeah,
It's a
my
great
only
point.
B's are Texas A&M. Look, after that first loss to Notre Dame, you can kind of stomach that, especially the fact that you're getting better and better, and you just beat a top 10 team worse than you've ever beaten a top 10 team. Arkansas, you know, the comeback at Oklahoma State puts them kind of in the B level. I thought at this point there was a good chance that Sam Pittman was going to be fired going into the bye. So just based on the simple fact that they've got a top 10 win and they're sitting at 4-2, pretty impressive. Alabama, LSU, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, South Carolina, Kentucky, Oklahoma, all C's.
Let me be Brown real quick. A C for Oklahoma? They've only got 1 loss.
They do only have 1 loss.
They just, I
agree.
I do think this Oklahoma team at 18th nationally at 4-1 is not what they're smoke and mirrors right now. Alabama,
Speaking of which, Missouri, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, Missouri and Ole Miss.
Well, I expected Missouri to be better. Though.
The D's just because of the schedule. Like there wasn't a world we lived in that they would have, they wouldn't be undefeated at this point. And they both have losses.
Man, if I'd have had you at Jack State, I wouldn't have made it 6 years without a degree. I'd have been done earlier.
No,
that is tough grading.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, that's tough grading.
So
I'm saying I made it a little further than I did because I had good professors. That's tough.
I mean, I just don't expect Alabama after beat. It would have been a solid A if you just would have beaten Vanderbilt. I don't care how you beat them. You can't lose that game.
It's almost like cheating on an exam. I can't give you an A.
No.
You get a 0 for cheating at that point. Brandy, let's see yours.
I wonder, though, at the end of the year, real quick, Brown, if we all will be on the same page saying this team is an A. I wonder if we'll have any A's.
I don't know. Like, well, maybe so, because I think one of my A's is going to surprise you guys because you gave them both a B. Obviously, I have Texas an A, but I gave one to Texas A&M as well. I know they lost to Notre Dame. I'm willing.
It's a bad Notre Dame team.
It's a bad Notre Dame team. They're a 1-loss team that's going to be in the college football playoff.
Played
potentially.
nobody but Texas
Well,
A&M and Northern
it was
Illinois.
Mike Elko's first game. First game. They played poorly, I agree, but what has that team done since then? They just absolutely dismantled Missouri.
I mean, is there anybody in the SEC that you are neutral site completely confident that A&M cannot beat?
No, not at all.
A neutral side, I don't think they
Neutral
can
site.
beat Texas. College Station is going to be a fun game. But neutral side, I don't think they could beat Texas.
I mean,
neutral side, I don't think they'd beat Georgia.
I think we are forgetting, though, Texas hasn't had any difficult games.
Yeah, no, they haven't. They haven't.
Yep.
Neutral side, I don't think they'd beat Tennessee.
Even Michigan. You wouldn't call Michigan a difficult
No.
game? Okay. I gave B's to LSU. They've got the 1 loss, but they've rebounded from that. B to Georgia. They lost on the road to Alabama. B to Alabama. They beat Georgia, who was number 1. B to Vanderbilt. I can't give an A to a team that lost to Georgia State, as good as Vanderbilt has done it sometimes. B to Tennessee. B to Ole Miss, and B to Oklahoma. I just think y'all have graded Oklahoma too tough. They are 4-1. I remind you, 4-1. They're only lost to a top 10 team.
Yeah, so too is Missouri at 4-1.
Yeah, but Missouri has played absolutely nobody.
Boston College. Vandy, who beat Alabama.
I gave Missouri, Kentucky, Arkansas, South Carolina, and Florida C's, and then I failed Mississippi State and Auburn, and I'm a little surprised both of you did not. I'm a little surprised you didn't fail Auburn. I think Auburn has been a complete F this year. I don't know how you can argue anything but an F for Auburn.
I mean, if I was going to have an F, it was going to be Auburn.
I mean, they have got wins over Alabama, A&M, and New Mexico.
That's right.
I mean, you've lost as a home favorite twice. One of those games a double-digit home favorite. So I don't have a problem with
that's an F to
Auburn
me.
being an F.
Yeah. Jace asked, why do I have Kentucky as a C? They did get run out of the stadium by South Carolina, and they did lose to Georgia. I mean, I know it was a close loss, but it still counts as an L in that little one win-loss column you get. So, I mean, to me, that's 2 losses already. I think that's a C.
Midseason report cards, send yours to us as well in the chat room, or you can post on any of our social media platforms at Next Round Live, at Next Round Live. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow us there. We appreciate you doing that on all the platforms. And if you're watching us right now on YouTube, a thumbs up, always appreciated there. Show being brought to you in part by our friends at MyBookie, mybookie.ag, Brownie, with the point spreads of the games, not only tonight, but the end of the weekend. And you can start with a deposit bonus that lets you play all these playoff games in baseball, the start of the hockey season last night. You can play it all.
Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag. In fact, as you mentioned, Alabama, a 21.5-point favorite over South Carolina. As those two play there in Tuscaloosa. Texas still a 14.5-point favorite, neutral site game there in Dallas as they take on Oklahoma. The big game at night, you've got Ohio State favored by 3. That's down just a little bit today over the Oregon Ducks in Eugene. Ole Miss a 3.5-point favorite in Death Valley against LSU. All those games, the Major League Baseball postseason, Thursday night football with Seattle and San Francisco, all right there at mybookie.ag. Code next round, as Jim said, at mybookie.ag. When you sign on, you make your initial deposit. They will double that deposit. That is free money for you to play with right away. When once with it, it is yours, and you can do with it whatever you want after that. mybookie.ag, code next round to get that double deposit. Lance is going to tell you Kansas State is free money. You ready to say that? Kansas State is free money?
I'm getting to that point.
Okay, I will update you tomorrow if Lance is ready to say Kansas State. Okay. When you're ready to say it, you say it.
I will let you know.
And we're going to tell everybody, mybookie.ag, if you only do one thing when you go there, play Kansas State. It's almost free money right now. We'll let you know. But the free money they give you is when you use code NEXTROUND at mybookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, mybookie.ag. Code next round.
Tyler, still the impact of Vandy beating Alabama. If you can give me cuts. Let's go 8 and then 7. 8 and then 7. We had Kirby Smart yesterday talking about, man, it's just the SEC now. Welcome to the SEC with this kind of upset.
Nothing surprised me.
Steve Sarkisian gets asked about, is there a takeaway from last weekend's upsets? Vandy over Bama, Hogs over Vols. Here's Sark.
You know, I touched on this earlier in the season, and probably holds true now more than ever. Everybody talked about, what is it going to take in the SEC and the Southeastern Conference? And I think the natural answer is, the physicality and the toll that it takes at the line of scrimmage on you. I think what the SEC does, it taxes you in a way from a mental intensity that you have to prepare every week like it's a championship game every Saturday. And from top to bottom in this conference, anybody can beat anybody. And I think that we learned that this weekend. And so the value for me is that it just was able to reinforce a lot of the things we've been talking about as a team. And anytime you have living examples, for young people especially, I think it's helpful that they can see and understand why our messaging is what it is.
It's a great point, man. You got to practice every week like it's a championship game.
I just don't know if it works, and I understand coaches want that to work. They want your team to see Vanderbilt beat Alabama and think that could happen to us, but I've got volumes of evidence that doesn't work. That one team getting upset by a lesser team doesn't get the attention of a team that was not in that game. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I mean, I just think we see that all the time in college football. We continue to have these upsets. Like, if it got somebody's attention, these upsets wouldn't continue to happen.
Upsets are always going to happen. And I think part of the reason why is you cannot prepare for a championship game 12 weeks out of the year.
Yeah.
You can't do it in the NFL every week. You can't prepare the same every week. We're humans.
That's right.
We're not machines.
Yep.
And there are going to be ebbs and flows. You're going to beat Georgia, and then you're going to be reading the press clippings. You're like, we're going to play Vandy this week, man. Let's don't run as hard in this practice. Let's don't study as much in this practice. So I can go do an autograph session maybe. It was human nature. But here's the big thing I want to know. If you're South Carolina, do you put in the tape of what Vandy did to Alabama, and are you able to use it to help South Carolina this week against Alabama? Here's South Carolina head coach Shane Beamer.
Vandy had a mobile quarterback that gave Alabama lots of trouble. You got a couple of mobile quarterbacks. Do you see something there that maybe y'all can exploit?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that Vandy put on tape that, frankly, we do in the run game as well. So there's certain things. Now, you also got to say to yourself, okay, Vandy has some success against them doing this, so is Alabama going to line up the exact same way and do the same thing? You don't know. But we're going to be who we are and do what we do. But there's certainly, like any game, whether it be the Vanderbilt game or the Western Kentucky and South Florida games that they played this year, there's going to be things that we see on tape that we feel like have a chance to be successful, that fit us, that we'll implement. But certainly Vandy did a really good job of moving the ball. They did an awesome job of protecting the football. They did an awesome job of converting on third down. I think they were 12 of 18, David. So I'd like to copy that for sure, their ability to stay on the field and score points. But they had a really good plan. But I think the biggest thing is Vandy played really, really hard. And really, really physical against them as well.
And if you just want to specifically look at the quarterbacks, Diego Pavia, much more experienced quarterback that doesn't make mistakes. Now, Lenore Sellers will be back. He was back against Ole Miss.
And he was not good.
Yeah, and he's a guy that can run it. He's just raw. I mean, he's a 6'3", 250-pound freshman that's going to make some mistakes. Now, overall, South Carolina's got more skill than Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Sellers came back. He wasn't great. Against LSU, though, Lenore Sellers had them in position to win that game. And there are a lot of people that feel like LSU and Alabama are a lot alike. There's a lot of commonality between that LSU defense and the Alabama defense.
Yeah, I mean, Sellers went 10 carries, 88 yards, 2 touchdowns against LSU. If you can do that on the ground against Alabama,
you got a shot.
Got a shot.
South Carolina's high points, big blowout win in Lexington. Played LSU in a game most people thought they probably should have won. So they've had their moments this year. They come to play Alabama this week.
I can tell you this. If there's a key play, a short yardage, 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, and they roll Robbie Ashford out there, I don't think Alabama fans are going to be too confident.
Well,
not that they fear Robbie
Aaron
Ashford.
Suttles brought this up in Bama and Bourbon, and I don't really remember this. What Ashford's one start at Auburn against Alabama, he rushed for 180-something yards.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I'll get you the exact number, but it was really good.
It was in Bryant-Denny Stadium.
It was.
He threw one great touchdown pass.
He did.
And a zip into the far corner.
Yeah, he actually had a good game. If you'll give me 2 seconds, I'll pull that box score up for you.
Near corner if you're watching on television.
17 rushes, Lance, 121 yards. He averaged 7.12 per carry. Now, he only threw for 77 yards, but it was a pretty touchdown.
He wouldn't have done that against the Saban defense. Oh, wait. It was.
A Pete Golding Saban defense.
Yeah.
You got to put an asterisk there.
Yeah. Well, you'd never have players act out of line in the Saban defense.
No, he did have that one good game against Alabama. That was not the reason they lost to Alabama that day for sure. Robbie Ashford wasn't the reason they lost.
Yeah, so interesting with South Carolina coming to town. That's the coaches' conferences yesterday and on Monday, brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher Shop, getting you ready for another big game weekend. LT ate there Friday and Saturday and leftovers on Sunday and Monday. It was Tuesday yesterday. Any more New York Butcher, or did you take a break? Get ready to go back tomorrow?
I actually went in after a late lunch and saw Jim at the Highway 119 store, and we were talking about it. I was like, nobody is going to believe that I actually was back here for a 5th consecutive night, but picked up some kind of breaded chicken, and Maddie made some kind of baked chicken dish with this delicious rice and mushrooms.
Crap, yeah.
But this was all from the New York Butcher Shop. So we're on a roll, 5 consecutive nights, not making that up. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop, pick up the finest and certified Angus prime beef steaks, burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, all natural chicken cut to order just for you. Don't forget about those huge deli sandwiches. We had some friends in from Orlando last week. You guys met them, and they heard us talking about the huge deli sandwiches, so they went to the Caba Heights location. And one of the guys was like, best sandwich I've ever had. They've got a great selection of fine wines and desserts. 2 locations, Caba Heights, Highway 119, the New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
Buying that perfect home is one of the most important financial decisions you'll ever make, so it's crucial that you have the right partner to help you through the process. Hi, I'm Lisa Zeig, Vice President Mortgage Loan Officer for Bryant Bank, and I'm here to tell you that we are that partner, making it easy to buy with confidence. We offer a variety of mortgage products to fit your unique home buying situation. That kind of hassle-free approach might not be what you'd expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give me a call today or visit one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama and let me show you what banking beyond expectation is all about.
Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trustful. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations.
Hey, this is Matt Roth, the franchisee of Walk On Sports Bistro in Birmingham. With the kickoff of football season, come visit us at one of our 3 locations, Stadium Trace, Greystone, or Trustville. Come enjoy our scratch kitchen menu while watching one of our 80 TVs. Whether you're looking for a pre- or post-game celebration, game day, or date night, we've got you covered. It's all about the win at Walk On Sports Bistro. Walk On, where everybody needs a little playing time.
Hey, you. Feel that? That's fall in the air. And New Balance Birmingham got your fresh fall pair. To kick it during game time and sport from the sideline. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280 right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
This hour brought to you by our friends at Champy's world famous chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Great food, perfect for your tailgate if you're heading over to Tuscaloosa this weekend. You can order it on Friday, pick it up, throw it in the fridge, and then reheat it. Or I actually love a good piece of cold fried chicken. You guys ever tried that?
Yeah, I've eaten cold fried chicken. Yeah. I prefer it warm, but I'll eat it cold.
But it's an 11 a.m. game, or you can go buy Champy's on your way home. Champy's world famous fried chicken, still making a trip down to the beach like some people up here are this weekend, just off the I-65 Highway 31 Alabaster exit. It's all right there. It's Champy's world famous fried chicken, a lunch destination, opened about 37 minutes ago at that location Sterling's been at for over a decade. Last night, I don't know if you guys flipped it over, but Utah's hockey club opened up the Delta Center as a hockey venue, and they packed it out. I know Ian worked there for a while. You visited him one time, right? In Salt
I
Lake?
did, yeah.
Good town?
I thought it was a really cool town. I mean, beautiful, just the mountains, right behind that Eccles Stadium. Rice-Eccles Stadium is right there, kind of on the outside of downtown. They've got a minor league team, so my buddy was playing against the Salt Lake City Bees then. So it was one of those weekends I came in to see him, came in to see Ian, but a really good sports town too.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought Salt Lake, I would give it a good solid B plus A.
Now, you hockey people that watched last night,
they won too.
They did. They scored. They jumped out early. They were playing the Blackhawks. That's Forrester's team. Sorry, Forrester. I mean, anytime I bring up something, it's always Forrester's team is losing. But the Delta Center where the Jazz play basketball, right?
Right.
But it was some kind of configuration. I don't know if the hockey rink, they had to jack up some seats to fit the hockey rink in there, but they had some draping in there. It was
so it's a bad configuration? Are they building a hockey-only facility?
It was unique. I don't know what they're doing, Brownie. I'll have to get more research in it, but it was a unique look there last night. Trash here. After trash, we're going to say goodbye to a historic moment in Las Vegas and a lot more. But before we get to trash, I want to tell you about Storm Restoration Roofing. My buddy Greg from Pell City, he just does great work around here. Trustworthy. He's been doing it for over 20 years with Storm Restoration Roofing. It's been locally owned for over 20 years. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. He and his wife, Andrea, they own the company. I tell you all that to tell you that in the roofing business, having someone local that's A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau that you can trust to do quality work that's insured, that has a warranty on your roof and protects your family, it's just vital. Sometimes it's life-saving. If you see some of these pictures after storms of trees that have crashed through your roof, it becomes one of the most, for some people, the most devastating moment in their life that all of a sudden they don't have a home and they've got to get it back as fast as they can. That's why you got to have someone trustworthy who you know that can get to work for you. That's why you keep this guy's name and phone number on standby, because it'll happen when you're not expecting it to happen. You're like, what's that guy that Dunaway's always talking about? It's Greg from Pell City, 205-542-3531, 542-3531. He gives you a free no-cost roof inspection, absolutely free. Handle the storm repairs, roof replacements, and absolutely anything else. Just take my word for it. He's the guy you want to be with. Greg from Pell City, 205-542-3531, or Greg from Pell City on Facebook. One more thing before we get to trash. I don't know the dollar figures, but Juju Watkins just signed the richest women's shoe deal ever. She was
Who was Juju Watkins?
She plays with USC, second leading scorer behind only Caitlin Clark last year. So she's supposed to be this year's Caitlin Clark at that level. So Nike signs her to a big deal. I assume when you sign a deal like this, LT, you almost get their career.
Yeah, it's a lot of these are lifetime deals.
Yeah, so
and I mean, if she can even come close to replicating not only Caitlin Clark, what she did on the court, but just what she did transcending women's basketball.
That's right. She becomes
quite hard to believe, but it seemed like that was one of those moments in time, but it did translate to success. Running Rookie of the Year at WNBA. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud, but
I noticed when the Night Edie group was up here yesterday announcing that we will actually be doing the Alabama Wake Forest game, the battle at the Bama at Boutwell, bama@boutwell.com if you want to get tickets. And they mentioned that they're going to unveil the new Ja shoe, right? And he was like, we got some special things. They did not ask for our individual shoe sizes. I don't know if you noticed that before they left. That would have been
You know who did?
Who?
A friend of mine who works close with Alabama basketball, who I've asked a couple of times, like, why can't Nate just give me a pair? They get them for free.
Right.
And he was like, you notice that guy did not, when you mentioned the jaw too, Jim, he did not ask for your size.
That's right.
Size 11.
We got some special things, but one thing they did not do was
just dropped it.
Just in case they're watching. One thing he did not do was get a list like, okay, Lance, what's your size? Brown, what's your size? Yeah. So I noticed that. I don't think I'll wear a jaw. I'm not going to, pretend I'm like 20 like you want to.
I just want the.
What are you trying to get from Nate?
Huh?
What are you trying to get from Nate?
I just want some game shoes.
You've asked enough. It's obvious they're going to give you some this year.
Yeah. Well, so I don't know.
How long ago did he get your shoe size?
He never got it.
Not Nate.
I've told it to him 3 times.
You've told Nate?
It to Nate
well, let me ask you this:
times.
How many home games will you be at this year?
Probably all of them.
Yeah,
including the banner racing Friday night, rolltide.com for tickets.
Yeah, you've done them on the radio. I would think a good trade would be you get a pair of shoes for that.
Yeah.
That's when it started.
Because they're paying you. Okay, well,
in lieu of payment, you just want shoes.
Well, I ended up getting paid, but every time I say in lieu of payment, why don't you just give me a pair of shoes?
Oh, they got deep pockets.
I mean, they got shoes stacked over there.
They get them for free. I think.
know. They're a Nike. What is it called? A Nike Premier School?
Yeah.
Now, much like when you got the Pandas, I think I've worn mine like twice since in a year and a half.
Yeah, I don't. So that's my least worn ones.
But maybe Nate's like, man, if he starts wearing our shoe, maybe it kind of kills it.
Final 4 year, you don't want to jinx it. I understand. Let's do trash. It's brought to you by Mortgage Right. Before LT continues to cut me down even more on the air, hit the big button.
Brown just said you were trying to be 20.
Sandra, how
I
far
talk
has
20
this
all the
family
time
come?
like Brown does.
We came from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Always proud to partner with our friends at Mortgage Right, the mortgage experts, whether you're buying your first home, your final home, no cost, no obligation, just to get the advice from our friends at Mortgage Right, 205-900-7200, mortgageright.com/TNR. Man allegedly vandalized a gas station in Memphis, Tennessee, after he was denied access to its bathroom, according to police. I do think Memphis is one of the biggest shitholes, country or citywide, in our country that I've ever been to.
I have only driven through it, Lance. I have not spent any measurable time. I've been in the Memphis outskirts. I've played golf out there, but I have not really spent any time
I've
in
just
Memphis.
never, I've had some fun nights there, but I've never been like, man, this is so nice.
I've been there
The
enough-
river looks dirtier than most rivers.
Yeah.
The Mississippi?
Yeah. There are more pat downs to get into bars than most cities.
Places.
Yeah.
I have noticed, I've been there enough to know, Interstate Barbecue is better than Rendezvous. Everybody makes a big deal about Rendezvous. Interstate Barbecue
Can
is
you
better
do
than
dry rub, though?
I'm fine with dry rub, yeah.
I would rather have a sauce-based, but
yeah, I'm
dry
good with
rub's
either.
good.
If it's done well, dry rub or wet does not bother me.
By the way, Brock, our friend, was asking on Unlock, what's the difference between a pork shoulder and a pork shoulder and a
pork butt
or pork butt?
Well, it's a different part of the
shoulder
pig.
and one's a butt.
One's a shoulder and it's not really the butt, but it's closer to the butt than the shoulder.
But is there another way to describe it outside of it's just a different part of the body?
I mean, I think a pork shoulder to me is better meat than a Boston butt.
I would agree with that. Less fatty.
Yeah, I mean, pork shoulder is more muscular. It's going to be a leaner meat than a butt.
So suspect driving a white Chevy Impala stopped at a gas station shortly before 2 p.m., denied access to the gas station bathroom after stopping at the business. Now, the man became angry, walked outside, threw a rock at the store's window before leaving in his vehicle.
Makes sense.
Short time later, man threatened the gas station, began to smash 2 gas pumps. Video of the incident shows the upset man smashing a pump on the ground, swinging it around, hitting on the ground until the nozzle popped off and gas began spewing out.
Oh.
He was wearing a number 13 Alabama jersey. I'm kidding. Police are searching for the suspect, who is wanted for vandalism. The suspect was described as average weight, average height, short dark hair, and a chin beard. Look, boy, he is pissed.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he's mad as hell and he's not going to take it anymore.
Looks like he's got a dead snake in his hand.
What's the end game there?
That's just when you just lose your mind for a minute.
Other than blowing the place up sometimes. Catch a spark on.
So a driver was shocked to realize a dog she hit with her car got trapped in the front grille during the collision, according to rescuers in Florida. Now, after the dog spent 12 hours in the car, this St. Lucie battery and tire feed, they freed him, according to this video. Now, the shop's manager, Lenny Cruz, said the woman was driving the evening, September 24th, when a dog ran out in the road and, quote, somehow, some way, the impact of the bumper managed to push her through the lower portion and catch the dog. This doesn't even seem possible, does it?
I have a hard time seeing how it would happen.
Without, especially the grill being busted in a million pieces.
But what's the other option there?
Now, when the driver realized the dog was in there, she, quote, carefully drove to the auto shop the next day, by the way, and Cruz elevated the car, worked to remove the front bumper and get the, quote, petrified dog out.
Yeah.
I don't believe this story.
So like a cat, I mean, you can crawl up in there.
Yeah.
But I don't see how that dog got up in there.
Yeah.
I need to inspect the car before I say it's 100% BS, but...
They ABC News posted a video of the workers at the shop pulling the dog out.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to dismantle anything to pull the dog out?
Well, they had to. They had to like open up the underside of the grill.
Yeah.
To get
Well, then my
enough
question would
space
be,
to
how's the
pull 'em
dog get in if you got to open something out to get him out?
This dog didn't get hit and got up in there. It crawled in there overnight or something.
Yeah.
Maybe when waters were rising in the last storm and hung out in there. I don't know. But it didn't get hit and bounce in there. That's a 1 in a million.
Yeah, 1 in a million shot, Doc.
Yeah, I've just never heard of dogs crawling up in a car.
I've heard of snakes in a car.
Yeah, and
I've
cats.
seen cats do it. Yeah.
Yeah. When it's cold, they get near the
Yeah,
engine
that's
to stay
right.
warm.
Yeah, you got to stay warm.
Which is a bad thing.
They don't know that.
If it's near the fan.
Yeah.
So an elevator technician at a museum in the Netherlands mistakenly threw away a piece of artwork made to look like 2 empty beer cans.
Oh.
Now, French artist Alexandre Levitte said, quote, all the good times we spent together may look like it belongs in a trash can at first glance, but closer inspection reveals it is in fact a meticulously hand-painted with acrylics with each detail painstakingly replicated, according to the museum statement.
If you paint something on a canvas, ain't going to throw it away. This was just, you painted something that looked like trash, and somebody threw it away like it was trash.
Yeah,
I hate it for you.
It looks like trash.
Yeah, if you don't want your painting to look like trash, don't paint something that looks like trash.
Now, the worker who the museum said was covering for the regular technician could perhaps be forgiven for their error, given the fact that the beer cans were displayed in a glass elevator shaft as though they were left behind by construction workers.
Yeah, so they even staged it to look like trash. What's the guy supposed
now,
to do?
good news, cans were later recovered from a trash bag, both still intact.
Yeah, as he said, what says in the chat room, I'm no critic, but that ain't art. And I would agree 100% with him.
You would need to make that life size.
I don't know if I'd want to drink one of those.
A Jupiler?
Yeah.
Jupiler?
It looks like maybe a Mexican malt liquor.
Yeah.
Probably going to be French, right?
I guess art is in the eye of the beholder, but if I had paid to get in an art museum and that's what I see, I'm like,
I would agree.
Like my money bag.
Ukulele, I think, is the word you're looking for.
Huh?
Ukulele.
You think it's Jupiler? Why do you think that?
It's French.
That does not look French at
He
all.
watches Emily in Paris,
You
right?
do. It looks more Mexican. Lance is right. When you put a bull charging at something, it looks Spanish or Mexican 100%.
Yeah, even the font looks a little Mexican.
Yep, I agree.
So McAfee, the thing that always pops up on your computer, their 2024 U.S. Celebrity Hacker Hot List runs down the actors whose identities are most often exploited by cyber criminals for online scams. Now, the actors' likeness are being used without permission on fraudulent schemes that peddle movie or song downloads, deals on celebrity-backed products,
Bitcoin.
Crypto investments, or tickets to high-demand concerts. Now, here are the top 10 celebrities used by cyber criminals.
This is the official McAfee list, Jim. This isn't one of the ranker.com lists. I know you hate those.
You can trust this.
I got to be honest.
From McAfee.
I don't know who number one on the list is. Addison Rae.
Well, how do you feel now?
Addison Rae. If you pop star or porn star, when you start doing a game.
Hang on, I'll put
Now, Addison Rae is
She's
the
a
Diet
TikToker.
Pepsi singer's likeness has been used without permission for fake endorsements, giveaways, and crypto scams. Now, does she do anything else?
She's an American singer, songwriter, and actress, it says. She rose to fame on TikTok with 88 million followers, Tyler.
Yeah, she had a reality show with Snapchat for a bit. I didn't know that was even a thing.
I did
A
not.
lot of
She
people
had that
did.
deal.
She's from Lafayette, Louisiana, so she's SEC footprint.
How about that?
Yeah.
Wow. Wonder if our man Matt Roth knows her. Better chance his son Andre does. Number 9 on the list, Johnny Depp.
You know this one.
The Pirates of the Caribbean star's likeness has been used without permission in giveaway, crypto, and fundraising scams.
He doesn't look like he's comfortable anymore.
Oh, he's probably not.
What do you mean
know what I mean?
comfortable? Like comfortable with finances? Or?
I don't know.
No,
He's
just like his face seems to be
Contorted?
uncomfortable.
That was quite a trial he and his ex-wife went through. I don't know if you followed any of that.
would you call that relationship toxic?
I would.
It looks like he's got fingerprints on his neck, like she slapped him really hard right in the neck.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That is wrinkles, but it does look like it's like somebody left fingerprints.
I think
on
that
it.
neck comes for most of us, doesn't it?
Yeah, at some point. Old
That's the
turkey neck.
First place you age, right here in the neck.
Number 8 on this list is Blake Lively.
You're familiar with her work?
Yep. She was used in a weight loss gummy scam, it says.
Yeah, I can see that.
Number 7, Sydney Sweeney, the new version of Blake Lively.
Also familiar with her work. right?
What is she selling, LT?
Oh, I don't know.
Verbo?
Anyone but you star's name and likeness have been used for crypto scams.
Yeah.
Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good singer.
The Espresso singer's name and likeness have been used in fake ticketing scams and to advertise an app for creating sexually explicit images.
You like a snakeskin jacket like she's wearing? You like that?
I mean, on her.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that is a bold look, the old snakeskin jacket.
Yeah, I mean, but you're a 25-year-old pop star. You can get away with it.
Oh, sure.
Number 5 on the list, Tom Hanks.
We know him. What are they using him for?
Promote miracle cures and wonder drugs.
Okay. Because you know what Tom Hanks has to do is pitch a miracle cure and wonder drug to make ends meet.
Number
like at some point, if
Wonder
you're falling,
Wonder drugs are like a box of chocolate.
if you're falling for this, it's on you. It's not on the scammer at some point.
Anna Taylor-Joy, name and likeness, both used for giveaway scam. I never saw the Queen's Gambit, but I did see. Well, I haven't seen the newest.
Furiosa?
Yeah, Furiosa yet.
Hey, can I ask a randomly placed, somewhat on-topic question before you finish? Well, how many you got left?
3.
Okay, I'll remember. I need to ask a question at the end.
But you know, she dates the local dude, some Mountain Brook guy.
What?
Yeah.
That girl dates a guy from
she was at
Melbourne?
Odie's back over the holidays.
That girl was at Odie's?
Yeah.
Huh.
Number 3 on the list, Taylor Swift. Name and likeness were used for celebrity endorsements, ticket scams, and product giveaways.
She been to Odie's?
She is not that I know of. Number 2 on the list, Kylie Jenner. Don't think she's been. Name and likeness used for social media giveaway scams and fake Kylie cosmetic products and websites. And then finally, Scarlett Johansson. Likeness used for advertisements and endorsements. Also threatened legal action against OpenAI for copying her voice.
Is that trash?
That is trash.
You can do the business, and I'll ask the question.
Brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right. If you are in the market, whether you're buying that first home or final home, whether you need 0 down or 100% financing, our friends at Mortgage Right can give you all of their advice. 205-900-7200 or mortgageright.com.
Am I supposed to know the girl that's in these iPhone commercials that air throughout the football games? She's like, some guy's walking towards her and she talks with a British accent and she asks Siri something and Siri tells her the guy's name. Am I supposed to know who she is?
I know.
You know the commercial I'm talking about?
No.
I know who you're talking about. She is an actress, I believe.
Okay.
It was the Lily, the Russian chick, right?
No, it's not her. That's who it was. This is some girl, like she's in a restaurant setting. And some guy's walking at her, and she's like,
no, it's a party where she goes,
yeah, who did I meet?
Who did I meet at the restaurant last Tuesday?
And then he's walking up. She goes, Zach, of course I recognize you. Zach, the way you walk, Zach. or some crap like that.
No, that's...
that right there on the right. Yeah, who's that?
No, that's the chick from The Last of Us, and she was also Game of Thrones.
Bella
Ramsey.
Bella Ramsey.
Okay, so I'm supposed to... Well, I'm not supposed to know her. I didn't watch either one of those shows, but she is famous.
Yes.
Okay, all right. That's all I wondered.
And don't refer to her as a she. She doesn't like that.
Okay, that person is famous, and that commercial airs all the time during the football games. That's why
you like that sweet monochromatic tie and.
I mean, that's a look. You
know. Anything else?
That's it, Jim.
All right, that's our trash and bonus question there, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right. We appreciate them so much. Football tonight at Jack State. Beautiful setting for a football game. You know, I joked about Kennesaw State. Watched that a little bit last week when Jacksonville State played. Did not play well on television at all.
Oh, really? Not cute little stadium after all?
Not cute little stadium. Jacksonville State looks like a mansion compared to that Kennesaw State stadium.
Well, they have upgraded Jacksonville State Stadium considerably since Rich Rodriguez. It started before Rich Rod got there, but it has continued. It is a pretty setting. I know, I went to school there. I don't know how much time either of you have spent on that campus. But it's a pretty setting up there at Jacksonville State.
Really
Y'all should go to a game one time.
I used to go all the time back in my local TV days. It has changed tremendously, that stadium there. We leave you with some NFL conversation here, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. First of all, George Pickens catching some heat from Steeler fans and some players on the team. But Mike Tomlin saying yesterday he's going to continue load management with him, playing only 59% of the plays. But then he had on the always effing open eye black.
Yep. Yeah. And people are starting now. So when stuff like this happens, it's a little bit like with, the Alabama football staff. You start trying to find everything that he's wearing a T-shirt. He's not getting plays in on time, whatever. Now people are starting to point out when he's loafing. Like he knows the ball's not coming his way, he's loafing. George Pickens is starting to
catch some heat
up there in Pittsburgh. It's not a great offense.
You knew it would be sooner or later, though.
You did. But the guy can be so good, Lance, when he's playing.
Yeah, and I still think Fields, man. I still think there's a lot of upside with Justin Fields.
It's a tough offense to watch at times.
It is.
Russell Wilson coming back to practice this week. LT was all in on Jaden Daniels, and Caleb Williams has been good. Bo Nix coming off maybe his best game as a pro. 10 wins in 5 games into the season for those 3 rookie quarterbacks, second most since the 1987 rookie class that included Jim Harbaugh and Rich Gannon.
Well, they've all got winning records. You think about Joe Burrow, if he can stay healthy, a Hall of Famer. Matt Stafford is a Hall of Famer. Both of those guys just in a Super Bowl 3 years ago, 1-4. And you've got all 3 starting rookie quarterbacks with winning records right now.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels has been just spectacular, though. I mean, he's this year's C.J. Stroud.
They lost the opener and won everyone since. Yep. Is that right?
Yeah, and they're probably going to end up winning that division, I think. I think Washington
It's
probably.
still a little early.
It is, but I
still
think they
think
will.
Dallas or Philadelphia can swing this back around and get right.
Yeah, and the Giants with a surprising win, at least surprising to me. It's Seattle over the weekend. They're not dead yet either. But Jaden Daniels is probably off to a better start than C.J. Stroud was last year. And C.J. Stroud had one of the best rookie years we've ever seen.
I would agree, yeah.
I mean, so what Daniels could do this year could almost be record-setting.
I mean, Jaden Daniels could be your MVP right now.
I mean, I would have no problem with that. I mean,
so
5 weeks in.
The last rookie to win an MVP,
if you
I don't know if it's I thought I saw this. Maybe it was somebody random like George Blanda.
But if you voted on MVP right now, Patrick Mahomes wouldn't win it because that's not the way the MVP works, even though he might probably be the MVP every year. It's probably either Jaden Daniels or Sam Darnold, wouldn't you think?
I would think both of those are right up there, yeah.
Think about the odds you could have gotten on Jaden Daniels and the astronomical odds you could have gotten on Sam Darnold to win the MVP.
Yep.
Bo and Sean Payton had a heated discussion on the sideline this past week, but Bo had a really good game. Where do you think Bo Nix is right now in his professional
career? Getting better, more confident. I think the team loves that he is, tough guy. I saw him in a goal line situation this past week and sneaking one over the top. He did play his best professional game, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, and that defense is good enough. If he doesn't turn the football over, they can find ways to win.
It was one of those where Bo walked away and Peyton kept yelling at him.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't end. It kept going.
Seen that at an Iron Bowl before. Phillies, Dodgers. Do either one of them survive the night?
I think the Phillies do. I don't think the Dodgers do.
Yeah. Lanceslock.com for official plays on all the baseball and football happening tonight. We are back with you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time. Don't forget all the content at covercrimson.com, including a brand new Bama and Bourbon with LT and Aaron Suttles, and over at thebarnauburn.com where they were talking about freshman All-American earlier today. Go check it all out. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.